following broadcast is a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Cameras are ready. The headset is on. It's game time.
Well, good evening and welcome here to the Hive as we get ready to go for some high school wrestling action tonight. I'm Jason Groves with Lance Rock. It should be a fun night tonight as the Perham Yellowjackets will take on Sauk Center Melrose in their first match. And then the Defenders will take on the United Becker Badgers in their second duel. And then the event will close out tonight with Perham taking on United Becker here on senior night for the Yellowjackets. And Lance, always a fun night for those seniors here to get to wrestle at home and get honored as they potentially wrestle one of those final home duels of the year.
And it's a good night, Jason. With the way wrestling's going and trying to sometimes get different competition, you end up finding yourself on the road more often than you find yourself at home. And so these home events are so precious. And it's so fun for the kids to be at their own building, weigh in at their own place, have their own wrestling room, kind of get themselves set up and geared up for the night, and then just kind of defend your own home gym. So a great night, and then you add that last time we were home, we had parents' night and got to honor the parents and what they do. Tonight's those seniors that have, it's a tough, grueling sport, Jason, as you well know, and it's a good night to go, hey, these young men have grown up through this system and spent a lot of hours working out in the weight room and in the wrestling room, and it's a great way to honor them tonight.
And tonight, as Lance and I had a chance to talk a little bit off the air, there's going to be some open weights, but that won't take away. There's going to be some good matches as well tonight.
Right, and that's the beauty of wrestling is you may go into some wrestling matches knowing the end team score is inevitable, but there's always going to be those matches that we go into and we go, wow, I can't wait to see that one. And I think there's going to be some of those tonight, and we'll kind of highlight those as we go tonight. But if you're a Yellowjacket fan and you haven't got to see the Yellowjackets for a while, they're really starting to roll a little bit. And Coach Dave Vetch and his staff of Coach Kyle Trout and Kevin Felt and Aaron Lawrence have just done a really nice job with these young men, just gaining confidence. And sometimes it was you got beat by a better team. But these things happen that were better than at the beginning of the season. Kind of capped off last weekend as they went and won the Heart of the Lakes Conference. And that's a kind of a feather in your cap. It might not be quite the grandeur thing that it was in the past, but anytime you're a conference champ in anything, it still says a lot about your program, where you're going. And for those young men, there were quite a few all-conference athletes for the Yellowjackets, and that was fun.
Well, I was going to say, a nice performance on Saturday. Like you said, Lance, anytime you're a conference champ, that's a nice thing to hang your feather and hang your tip your cap to, and that's a good thing for the Yellowjackets, building some momentum. With that 7-12 record overall, they faced some stiff competition. And that's one thing you can always say about this Yellowjacket squad. For the most part, they face some of the best.
Right, and I think part of it is you look at Section 8 AA is so good. Right now you have number 4 in the state of Minnesota, Pequot Lakes, Pine River, Bacchus, and number 6 is Thief River Falls. And when you get 2 teams that are in the top 6 in the state of Minnesota, you know that says something about your conference, and especially being up north. We've always talked about sometimes the credit doesn't come up north like it should. I think Section 8 AA has had a lot to do in the last few years, and the run the Yellowjackets made will give them quite a bit of credit. When you go down 5 years in a row and place in the top 5 or above for 5 years straight, and then Pequot Lakes goes down, and you start to get some credibility, and I think we're seeing that in the rankings already, that these kids are getting noticed, and that's a huge thing. And
you mentioned that Detroit Lakes, I believe, had a nice run in there a little bit there year, and you throw in the fact, you mentioned the team stuff, but individually Section 8 AA has done a real nice job finding its way to podium in the last few years individually, and has just been an outstanding section overall. So it's continuing to grow, and you look at the Yellowjacket schedule coming up ahead. The 28th is always the fun one when they take to the mats at Frazee, and then you throw in the fact that another northern power is coming to that now triangular with the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks.
Right, and there's some up in the air about Grand Rapids, whether they're going to be there or not, so you'll have to stay tuned to that. I just kind of heard over the weekend it may be just a duel, but if Grand Rapids is there, they do bring some firepower, and then the Yellowjackets have the staples, the Don Dravis duels, which is always a good kind of a gathering of central Minnesota teams, and then have Moorhead and Wilmer. And Wilmer has been, you don't have to go far to hear the Wilmer name, starting with the Gophers, where one of the Carlson boys is wrestling at 165, or South Dakota State, another one is wrestling. So Wilmer comes in with that reputation of just being a powerhouse in 3A, and along with Moorhead. So you talked about that schedule, Jason. The Yellowjackets are going to kind of end up wrestling 2 3A teams to end their year. So no back down, no rest for the Yellowjackets, and it's been nice to see these kids kind of find their way and settle in and really do some productive things on the mat.
Well, we'll take a quick timeout as we're still moments away from the start of our duel tonight here on the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Check out the Backyard in Perham. They have the largest selection of bird seed, assorted suets, and bird feeders in the area. Over 50 different varieties of pet food and pet treats, and an even bigger selection of pet toys, leashes, collars, and more. The Backyard is also your pet's destination for a spa day. The grooming salon is open Monday through Friday for grooms, nail trims, and baths. And book a stay for your pet at the Backyard Boarding and Play Care, a brand new facility made to make your pet feel at home. If your pet needs a comfortable place to stay, call Backyard Boarding and Play Care.
KLN is home to great companies like Kenny's Candy and Tuppy's Pet Foods. Matt Nagel here. I was raised right here in Lakes Country. Our products are top-notch. Working for a successful, locally owned family business means job security, pride, and a connection to our local communities. Join us at Kenny's Candy. Experience an awesome benefit program, competitive wages, a sign-on bonus, and profit sharing. Shop local, work local. Get started at klnfamilybrands.com or call 347-0525 and ask for Matt.
When everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life. At Central Minnesota Credit Union, we've streamlined our financial tools to ensure you have everything you need all under one roof. Whether you're starting a family, starting a business, or buying a home, CMCU is here to be a trusted financial partner. CMCU offers free checking options and a network of financial experts. Because when everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life.
Odds are there's an ace right in your neighborhood. With expert advice and the right tools to make your quick fixes even quicker. Around the block, what you need in stock. With people who know their stuff. Welcome to the Home Convenience Store.
Hi, this is Mallory Stotterell
and Erica Saylor from Lakes Ace Hardware.
You can expect expert help for your next project at Lakes Ace Hardware,
right here in downtown Perham.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There's no question that yield is at the core of everything we do at Stein. It's why we are here today and it's what will continue to propel us and our growers into the future of agriculture. Stein and List E3 soybeans provide a significant dollar per acre yield benefit, plus access to the best weed control in the industry. That is yield plus results. Yield expected.
They say a dollar doesn't go far these days, but in my classroom, it does. Especially when I can use it to buy technology to keep my students on the cutting edge of learning.
Arvig donates money to my school through a school partnership program.
$1 of your payment goes to area schools like mine for computers, tablets, smart technology.
It doesn't cost me anything extra to provide a better,
brighter,
more connected classroom.
Well, welcome back here to the Hive. I'm Jason Gross with Lance Rock as the Yellowjackets get ready to take on the United Clay Becker Badgers. That's later tonight. They'll be taking on the defenders of Sauk Center Melrose. And tonight, Lance, the only thing I'm really hopeful for is a couple of matches that put up some more offense than the Packers did on Saturday.
I'm going to leave that one well enough alone, Jason. I feel bad enough for you the way it is. So, but going back to wrestling, and I can't believe you're the one that threw out the first shot at your own team. It takes a real man to do that. So really excited to see the Yellowjackets as we kind of get ready. Again, thanks to our sponsors, KLN Family Brands, Lakes Ace Hardware, United Community Bank, EOT Insurance, Arvig, KLN, Stein Seed, Central Minnesota Credit Union, and United Community Bank in the backyard for making this possible tonight. And we'll try to get their ads up as we can. It's a little bit more difficult in a wrestling match, but know that it wouldn't happen without these fine businesses and people, and Perham Schools also chipping in to do that for us. So I'm really excited to see tonight, and it's kind of weird, this 5 o'clock one. The kids weigh in at about 4. They go right into warm-ups, and then you kind of have a lull. So it tries kind of interesting. We're going to go to break, and we'll come back and kind of hit some high points for this first match.
Jake, no video games till your homework's done, bud.
It is done, Mom. What about your homework?
My homework?
Arvig donates $1 from our internet payment each month. Helps buy technology for my classroom. Computers, tablets, stuff that wasn't invented when you were in school.
Haha, good one.
It's free.
School partnership program. That's an easy assignment.
I can see it now. Video games for every student.
KLN is home to great companies like Kenny's Candy and Tuppy's Pet Foods. Matt Nagel here. I was raised right here in Lakes Country. Our products are top-notch. Working for a successful, locally owned family business means job security, pride, and a connection to our local communities. Join us at Kenny's Candy. Experience an awesome benefit program, competitive wages, a sign-on bonus, and profit sharing. Shop local, work local. Get started at klnfamilybrands.com or call 347-0525 and ask for Matt.
Hi, I'm Trevor Seaman with United Community Bank, and today we're down at the Gathering Grounds, joined with Ashley Clifton.
Hello.
Ashley, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
What's the best part for you about working with United Community Bank?
Besides just that they believed in me and kind of took a chance on me and helped me get it all together, I think what's more is that they really do support the community. They come in the store all the time. They don't just give us business, but they, encourage our business, buy gift cards in the winter when we're slower to give to other, locals and businesses. So it's just really inspirational for me.
You didn't like the call? Please remember the officials on the court and the field have the best view of the action as it happens. More officials are needed. People like you. Stay connected to the game you love. Contact the NDHSAA, MSHSL, or your local high school to find out how to become an official. This message courtesy of Magnitude Sports.
Well, welcome back here to the Hive as we get ready to go for wrestling action between the Yellowjackets and the defenders of Sauk Center Melrose.
Yeah, and this is good because it's going to be a triangular of 3 8AA opponents, so it's always good to get those in before tournament time, Jason. And as you witness right now, the meeting of the captains and the coin flip, and again to go through some of those things that I used to wonder about, and now I'm kind of getting used to it a little bit more as I'm on child number 2 wrestling. The coin flip determines who sends out their wrestler first. And sometimes it's really big when you get to that tournament time or you get into a big match, who you're able to jostle. If you double weigh in some spots, you might be able to avoid a really good kid or put your good kid. So that's the chess match that happens within the match, and that all happens with the coaches. So really, really good things going on. And so I don't know how the flip went, and we'll kind of see. And I don't know tonight if it's going to be used too much. There's not a ton of double weigh-ins from what I could see. Jason's kind of working on our camera here. We're trying to set up a little bit, trying to make sure that we get you as much as we can and as close as we can so you feel like you're right involved. And the interesting thing with the triangular too, it's kind of not the fanfare where the team runs in and you have the music playing, because you also have the JV matches going on at the same time. So we're going to kick right off at 1:06 where the Yellowjackets are going to bring out Dresden Wakescheid. Dresden's an 8th grader. He's 4-16 on the season. Dresden's really been a battler and has gotten better time and time again. And he's just been one of those guys that's kind of been a spark plug. And he's going to be wrestling Dominic Kurzman, a 9th grader, who's 13-13 on the season. And Dominic, as you can notice already, has definitely got a size advantage on Dresden, but Dresden's been battling that all year, and it hasn't stopped him from doing what he wants to. But there you see the size difference. Dresden shoots in right to a headlock for Kurzman. Kurzman got the takedown and back points and now looking for the fall. So again, I think a lot of times you see that happen with Dresden. It won't happen in the future because he's such a fine young wrestler. And it's tough right now, but you can see how strong-willed he is to battle in a really tough position in a headlock.
And if you're Kurzman, you're thinking this is going to be one of those matches that's going to go a long way. Like you said, all Section 8 AA opponents tonight, so this might be one of those individual seeding matches that you're really going to put a feather in your cap for future.
Right, and it might be the difference between being a 3-6 seed or a 4-7 seed. So who knows, but Dresden's doing a great job, but this is a tough spot to be in. And as he hooks a leg, that helps a little bit, but Kurzman's got this locked in so tight. If he rocks, and he just did that, if he rocked back, he was going to win by fall, and he does at about 1 minute and 22 seconds on the clock. So a fall for Kurzman makes the score 6-0 in favor of Sauk Center Melrose.
And Sauk Center's open here at 113, excuse me. So Zacey gets a forfeit victory.
And that evens up the score at 6-6, and that's why it's so hard to give up those forfeits, because it's just like getting a pin, and a pin's not that easy to get. So we head right into 120. Tegan Detloff coming in as a 7th grader, 4-7 on the season. Tegan has had so much mat time and is just a good young wrestler. It's nice to see him down at 120 here. Gives a little bit of a chance for some things to happen for the Yellowjackets. He's 4-7 on the season. He's going up against Noah Christensen, who's an 8th grader, 10-12 on the season. But you can see some of that experience, not so much this year at the varsity level, but nice single leg right into that takedown for Detloff. And Detloff's got so many skills, and you'll see for a young wrestler, he's a kind of a chain wrestler. He goes from one thing to the next, and that's something really awesome to see, and we're going to be fortunate to watch him wrestle for many, many years here as he tries to get a little tilt in going, and nice job. One of the things that I've liked about Tegan is he does really a nice job of being in the top position and flatten his kid out, and you'll see now he's changing his attack when it didn't work the first time. So nice job by Detloff. They both go off, and Detloff takes a 2-0 advantage with about 52 seconds remaining here. There's a confident wrestler when Detloff says, hey, let's go both up. I tried to get some back points. Let's go both up. So an escape there makes it 2-1 in favor of Detloff with 40-some seconds remaining here. Detloff goes right back into that single. Nice job of blocking there by Kristen. right back in, trying to get that double. As soon as he got that arm wrapped around the waist there, it was a takedown. So another 2 for Detloff, and he leads 4-1 in the waning seconds of the first period. Nice escape there by Kristen, but right back in on a shot. Short time here. Be nice to see him finish this one and get up 6-2. But Kristen doing a nice job, almost pinning himself. And you saw, I think if there would have been a little more time, Detloff realized that, was going to reach around, probably get that kind of reverse head in and get some back points. But 4-2. Detloff takes the down position. We're all tied up on the United Community Bank wrestling scoreboard tonight, 6-6 as a team duel. Detloff with the stand up, trying to peel the hands. Sits. Nice job by Kristen there following, but Detloff on constant motion right now. Tegan doing a nice job with balance, but eventually goes back down, and you only have so long to not take that guy. Matt returned the guy back down to the mat. So Kristen looks he looks like he feels really comfortable in the top position here as he tries for a tilt on his own there. And I think we found the strength of the Sauk Center Melrose, and Detloff is doing a good job working to his base, but can't get that next step level up to get himself free right now.
Also seems like Detloff, when he gets up, his lankiness kind of gives Christian a little bit of trouble.
Right, and you know, it's a little bit of power, and it's nice to see 2 young athletes like this, 7th and 8th grade. You know, that's a lot of good years of wrestling coming up here, and we're kind of stalemated at 4-2. And nice job of riding by Noah Kristen. And he obviously is a accomplished varsity wrestler coming in with 22, what I found was 22 matches on the season at 10-12. And here's a nice spot, a chance for Detloff to score here as he kind of got Kristen to rock back, but then nice work by Kristen getting himself back into that top advantage, and he may ride out this whole period. And that's what it looks like is going to happen. Trying to kind of get that tilt in there, but not so successful. It's close, but not breaking that 45-degree plane. So great job by Detloff not giving up any back points there, but also didn't get his escape. So 4-2 we go again. And I take it was Kristen's choice, and he says, I was successful up here. Let's see if I can get a turn and maybe get the 3 back points and take the lead here. So definitely his strength, and something, this is why it's good to see these guys in duels. So next time, if this happens to be in the section tournament, you don't choose down when you go up against this young man. Here we're getting the tilt in, but Tegan's kind of in a good spot here. If he can kind of gain his momentum, he might defensive pin him right here, even though Kristen was getting some back points. Now we're looking for the fall for Detloff, and right headlock, but then right back, and boy, this guy is real sticky on top, and we're tied 4-4. And I thought Detloff was going to come out with a real advantage there, Jason, and to my surprise, nice job of getting right back on his ride is Kristen.
Well, you were talking about a defensive pin. I thought that was the way it was going, but Christian continued to battle, worked his way, and now we have an even match with 50 seconds and some odd seconds to go.
And you don't see it that often, a defensive pin, but that's what the official was looking for, and he was doing that while he was holding the 2 yet for Kristen, and he's really got kind of Detloff all wrapped up right now with 40 seconds to go. You know, he's got to break that plane, and Detloff's doing everything he can to bring all of his power and breaks that ride, but you can see Kristen's got that leg kind of wrapped up, and he's definitely working on trying, and I wouldn't boy, a tough ride. It's one of the better rides I've seen by an 8th grader so far this year. Just a nice job of really working hard here, and now kind of trying to stack him up, but they go out of bounds with 6 seconds. So looks like we might be headed to overtime, which would put both kids back on their feet, and that's kind of been Detloff's where he's been better, but who knows? He's been rode out now for 4 minutes. It's been a tough battle for him under there. He's trying to get out in the last seconds to secure the win. Spins around, but again, there's Kristen, just kind of wraps that leg around, and we're all knotted up heading into overtime. And again, this has been where Detloff's been good. He's been real good at measuring, getting that single leg kind of into a double and just kind of driving through.
This has potential. I know it's early in the duel of being on match of the night early in this first one.
And there's the 2-point takedown and a nice defensive takedown kind of for Detloff as a shot in there by Kristen. And Detloff just met it and kind of slid behind him on a go behind. And nice job there by Detloff picking up the decision in overtime. Mickelson gets a win by forfeit along with Detloff's win and sudden victory. Peters at 132. Sauk Center was open, so that gives the score if we're 21-6.
Burscheit versus Beyer.
Yeah, Burscheit is a senior. I had, now again, my records are from what I could find on research, 2-16 on the year. Beyer coming in as a sophomore, 11-17. Came off of a real nice Heart of the Lakes tournament and did some really nice things there. And one thing we've always known about Beyer is he's worth the price of admission to watch. He gets going and gets rolling, and he's a pretty physical wrestler, and he's just growing into this wrestling, and I think the best is yet to come for young Mr. Beyer.
Yeah, Beyer's matches always have that unique flair for the dramatic throughout our broadcast times the last few years.
And I would say almost 100% of them have gone to the last 4 or 5 seconds, and I'm hoping tonight doesn't for him, and he's been doing a lot of good things. But again, the United Community Bank scoreboard has a 21-6 lead, and that's kind of what forfeits do. It's tough when you have to leave some open weights, but I think sometimes you try to protect your wrestlers against someone like the status of Chandler Mickelson. Mickelson was rated 10th at 113th as Beyer gets a kind of a slide-by takedown right there. Nice job by Beyer getting up 2-0. And again, I think that's okay sometimes. If you have a young wrestler, you may not want to place that young wrestler against someone like Chandler Mickelson, who's a state entrant and rated 10th in the state, and just to protect that wrestler at that time. And that was kind of nice that we could make that switch and see Kristen wrestle Detloff, which was a really good match.
Well, it's kind of one of those, I think tonight, I think you throw out the team scores and just it's more focused on the individual matches that are happening here tonight. Too many open weights for you. I mean, just simple math tells you that Sauk Center Melrose isn't going to be able to put up a victory team score-wise, but it's going to be a lot of good individual matches tonight for them, I think.
Right, and I think we talked about that at the beginning with 13 seconds remaining here, Jason. That's the unique part about wrestling is you might know the outcome, but you can also battle as an individual, and that's what makes this sport so unique. Is that here's a wrestler for Sauk Center Melrose battling, gets the escape with a few seconds, and that's huge. And all of those things are what the coaches are looking for. And so 2-1 is the score. Favor of Beyer going into the second period. Beyer will be at the top position. Beyer looked for that front headlock, but nice job with kind of an E-slide there by Burscheit. And he gets the escape, and we're tied 2-2. So again, the matches that we've seen have been good matches. And there's some really quality wrestlers from Sauk Center Melrose as both wrestlers go off the mat here. The next one, if they weighed in who they thought they did, will be another good match coming up. So hang tight with us, and you're going to see some good wrestling.
And also let you know, viewers, as you're looking on our screen, we're zoomed in tight, so we may miss some of the side angles, but that's, we'll make sure if the action hangs over there, we'll move our camera when we need to.
Nice job by Beyer, gets in on a takedown. Nice gentle takedown there and regains that lead, but struggling to keep the Sauk Center Melrose wrestler down right now. So 4-3, not much for the ride right now. Not to say Beyer cannot, but right now having a tough time once he gets in on that single. But here in on a quick single, turns the corner. If he can get his head out, which he does, now he should wrap around, bring that leg around, and there's the 2. So 6-3 lead now with about 40-some seconds, 46 seconds remaining in the second period. So nice job by Beyer, trying to lock up the cradle. Burscheit says, pulls that arm right around and says no way to that. It's 6-4. So 3 takedowns for Beyer, 4 escapes for Burscheit, leads to the 6-4 with about 23 seconds remaining on the clock. Again, if you hear other whistles going on, we've got JV matches going as Beyer gets another takedown. So Beyer kind of in the takedown mode right now, leading 8-4. It'd be nice to see him hold on here for this 5 seconds. Nice mat return there by Beyer and hold on to this 8-4 lead going into the third, and he does that. So nice job by Beyer with the mat return, holding him down. Beyer looks to Coach Vetch. It was his decision. He said both up. Good choice in my book, as Beyer's been kind of a takedown machine to start this duel. Nice shot by Beyer. Really nice quick shot. Gets down. Another takedown. Leads 10-4. And now you kind of start working towards the bonus points. And Jason, you usually bring that up, and we haven't got to that point quite yet, but how important bonus points can be. Another escape makes it 10-5. Shot there by Burscheit, met kind of head on head there by Beyer. Beyer does a nice job just high-lowing him right there. We'll see if he can finish. Looks like he's going to shelf this with a nice trip. So nice job by Beyer. He's got 7 points. Now he's looking for that major decision, and he's going to have to release him here, and he does. That makes it 12-6. So one more would give him the major, and that's definitely what Beyer's shooting for. Let's see if he continues on that same path he has. It's been kind of a upper body down to that single. So fake upper body, down low to that ankle, and Burscheit looks like he knows it's coming. He's just trying to keep his feet moving. So Beyer kind of stalking here in that position, but look for that same type of look, up high, down low to that single. Shoots to that single, but Burscheit just kind of holding him at bay a little longer maybe, pushing off with the shoulders, and there's a lot of backing up going. And I thought if he would have backed up off the mat, we might have saw a stall call, but Beyer gets in on the legs anyways. Now he's got, there he does a nice spin, turns around, and he's going to probably get more than the major here. He's looking for the fall. We got short time, but he gets it right at the buzzer. Nice job by Beyer, and I think it was almost one that he was surprised to see himself, as he was riding it out really nice, had a nice takedown, and as he turned around, he saw the head and grabbed it, and that kind of that headlock situation. So nice job there by Beyer, getting the fall. 6 more points on the board for the Yellowjackets. And it shows on the United Community Bank Wrestling scoreboard, Perham 27, Sauk Center Melrose 6.
It'll be Jose de los Santos for Sauk Center Melrose, and he's off to a quick start.
And for the Yellowjackets, Caden Felt, and this is one guy that I had kind of circled as De Los Santos. He came in with a 20-5 record. So anytime you have 20 wins at this point of the season, you're doing a lot of things right. Caden Felt, a junior, he comes in with a record of 10-21, finished third at the conference tournament, which makes him an all-conference wrestler. We have a caution. Felt trying to really speed out of there and doing a nice job. But I remember the De Los Santos name from the last couple years, and a real accomplished wrestler, really quick on his feet and does a nice job. So early takedown for him, looks in, trying to do the tilt, and a nice job of Felt rolling through that one.
Now De Los Santos is going to cut him, and we'll see what happens now that they're both back on their feet.
Yeah, that's always kind of one of those, I think a lot of wrestlers look for that quick back points. If they don't get it, they go right to what they know best. And here we have a headlock and a headlock, and both wrestlers end up in a bad position. So. And that's been Caden Felt's kind of what he likes to do, is maybe go a little upper body, throw in some moves that are a little high risk, high reward type moves. And De Los Santos met him with that headlock position, and both guys were out of bounds. And here we go again. And this time De Los Santos gets the headlock as they both kind of go for it. And De Los Santos is in a really good position with 20 seconds remaining here. He's got 2 points and his back points locked up. Now he's just looking to settle in and get those on the mat. But nice job by Felt right there. But as he rolled back, both shoulder blades hit the mat. So win by De Los Santos by fall over Felt brings our score to 27-12 on our United Community Bank scoreboard. Logan Gook's going to win by forfeit, and this could be a string of them right here. Logan Gook with the win. Blake Lawrence gets his 28th win. Braylon Rock comes out at 170. He gets the win, his 15th. So I'll try to highlight that. Jason's keeping his finger going on the button, putting on as Ramos gets his 33rd win on a forfeit as well. And now we should get back into wrestling for the last three, I believe. Just a big stretch in there that's pretty tough for Sauk Center Melrose to come back from most times, I would think, and then they go open again. And I really thought maybe that was a spot that they were going to wrestle. Hackle gets a win by forfeit. And we'll go at 220. At 220, Kevin Rea, a sophomore, 9-10 on the season, will wrestle another sophomore from the Yellowjackets, Jackson Vetch, who's 5-12 on the season. So probably pretty good equal match, but just in the blink of an eye, Jason, it goes from a pin for Sauk Center Melrose to 57-12 on our United Community Bank scoreboard in favor of the Yellowjackets. And again, it's they kind of go through the heart of the lineup, kind of really. Not that it's been a really good spot as Vetch kind of throws. They both kind of throw here, and it ends up with Rhea on top. And Rhea, both wrestlers, I think, were going for the same move. It ended up Rhea was good enough with his hips. He flipped over Vetch, and now he's got two. He had his back points, and now the fall. So, again, probably making the most of what they have is Sauk Center Melrose with 3 wins. They have the maximum points they could get in 18 as we head into heavyweight. Will Sjogren out at 285. He's a junior, 18-6 on the season against Reese Wilprick, 12-8. Reese had a really nice tournament as well, finished third at the conference, and sewed up the team. It went right down to the wire on the team part of the conference duel, and Reese got a pin in the last one of the last matches of the afternoon, and ended up giving the Yellowjackets the conference title as a team. So nice moment there for senior Reese Wilprick, as we were talking about seniors. And this is some good competition for Reese right here. And again, one of those, Jason, that you said might be looking forward to the 8AA tournament. So when we look for seeding. Going back to the middle of the lineup, it's kind of been the stout part of the lineup for the Yellowjackets. Starting with Blake Lawrence has had just a phenomenal senior season. That was his 28th win, 28-11, and he's seen some really good competition and has done such a really nice job being a leader for this team. And then you roll into Braylon Rock at 170, who has really come on after ACL surgery last year, really kind of finding his way. That was his 15th win, 15-12 on the season after starting out kind of shaky. And Brian Ramos is, what can you say about Brian Ramos? He's going to end up being the takedown leader. He's going to be up towards the top of the wins list in the Yellowjackets, and that's saying a lot when you look at the amount of wins that were up there. And Brian's just a phenomenal leader, taking some of these young guys by storm, and that he is 33-1. Hudson Hackle, another sophomore. So you look at seniors kind of sandwiched by some sophomores in there that'll have to step up in the leadership. Hudson's had a really nice season, gets his 16th win. And then Jackson Vetch, also a sophomore. So when you start to put the pieces together, you don't want to look into the future too far. But the future's looking pretty good when you start seeing sophomore, and then you sprinkle in the Tegan Detlofs and the Dresden Wegshis and the Carson Zeizes, and you can go on down the list. But a nice kind of look for the Yellowjackets this year and then building into next year.
Do not know how I could follow that up, Lance.
I wasn't expecting you to. I was just taking a breath.
It was great descriptions. Our first period come to an end, 0-0 tie, and kind of that typical heavyweight style match.
And we get a stall there, and then, nice job by, I thought Reese needs to just kind of work his way kind of backwards here and get himself that takedown. But nice job there by Sjogren. And then you got to watch that knee, and he actually did a really nice job there of kind of forcing the action of the official without giving that, or did they give him that? No takedown. So still in the down position, and 0-0. Again, like you said, these are two quality wrestlers that could vie and do some things, and nice job by Reese with that Mac takedown. If he can hook that half in there, he would be in business, but he didn't quite get his arm in there to get that half going and push him over. So again, no points awarded, but the longer that Reese can hold him down here, the better it is for Reese. And just as I say that, it never fails.
I'm going to say right on cue.
Right on cue is right. So 1-0 lead for Sjogren right now. Again, Sjogren, a junior, 18-6 on the season, and Reese Wilprick, a senior, with 12-8 on the season.
Well, like you said, throughout for the Sauk Center Melrose squad, they've been able to take advantage of the opportunities that they've had on the mat here tonight.
Right, and their 3 wins have turned into 18 points, which is a positive if you're looking for Sauk Center Melrose. If you're the coming in, looking at their lineup, that it's going to be a tough road to hoe, so to speak, that when you give up that many points, you just can't do it. But you're looking for these matchups for these guys for that individual tournament as you're going. And you can see that's where Sauk Center Melrose is. We talked about records. The Yellowjackets are 7-12 on the season. This is their 20th duel. Sauk Center Melrose is 1-8. So they've wrestled half the amount of duels. That doesn't mean they've wrestled less. They're going to more individual type things where they can put these kids into play and they build towards a team type score, but it gives them a chance to not look at the scoreboard and go, oh, it's 57-18 again. They're all vying for a individual title at those.
Oh, and then tonight you look at it, yeah, it's a triangular meet. Here's an opportunity to get 2 matches, and you just look at it as an individual event for every team that's involved, because you really kind of throw out the team window score, except for maybe when Sauk Center, Melrose, and UCB get together, because it could be interesting how that plays out, and you look at that with the way the things are in the matchups.
Right, and you know as well as I do, Jason, that just because there's an open weight when you wrestle one team doesn't always mean there's going to be an open weight in the next one. So that being said, we may see more matches in the next duel than we do in this one, and it's hard to tell. And UCB brings some really fine looking athletes too. Watching them this weekend, they have some really good wrestlers, and Coach Strelo does a really nice job over there. So we can probably, we're still at 1-0 in the third, and Reese has to get this point and get himself back into, or maybe get into a roll type situation and take it on a reversal. But the next, we'll talk a little bit about this one, recap the next one. We won't be audio, but we'll stay live for those of you who want to watch the next one, as here's a little armbar type situation by Skogan, and then we'll come back for the final one tonight, and we'll be doing that as well. So you can stick around, watch it. You won't have our commentary, which maybe is a good thing depending on where you're at. But nice job by Sjogren here. He's got a nice armbar. He's rolling Reese over, and this would be huge for him. And again, 18 seconds left, and it's one of those, there's the fall. So 4 wins, all pins. Something you can build on if you're Sauk Center Melrose is you've got some guys in that room who can really do some damage.
Well, just an outstanding night. Overall, Perham gets a team win, 57-24. But overall, if you're Sauk Center Melrose on that side of thing, like you said, they're getting ready for UCB, and for them, with those matches that you picked up pins in, you know it's different matchups are going to change a little bit. But it could be an exciting duel coming up next.
And I really do believe there's going to be more matches there. I think that Sauk Center Melrose didn't really like the matchup with Chandler Mickelson. So there's a few spots in there that they might have looked like, hey, we maybe don't want to face a Blake Lawrence or a Braylon Rock or a Brian Ramos. Chandler Mickelson, we will in this next one, depending on the matchup. So stick around, watch. We'll go to a break. Jason will come back. We'll recap this, and if it's going on while we're going, we'll let you watch while we recap this match. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll stay live for this next match and the following one. We'll be back. So we'll be back with a wrap-up, and thanks for watching Magnitude Sports.
Jake, no video games till your homework's done, bud.
It is done, Mom. What about your homework?
My homework?
Arvik donates $1 from our internet payment each month. Helps buy technology for my classroom. Computers, tablets, stuff that wasn't invented when you were in school.
Haha, good one.
It's free.
School partnership program. That's an easy assignment.
I can see it now. Video games for every student.
KLN is home to great companies like Kenny's Candy and Tuppy's Pet Foods. Matt Nagel here. I was raised right here in Lakes Country. Our products are top-notch. Working for a successful, locally owned family business means job security, pride, and a connection to our local communities. Join us at Kenny's Candy. Experience an awesome benefit program, competitive wages, a sign-on bonus, and profit sharing. Shop local, work local. Get started at klnfamilybrands.com or call 347-0525 and ask for Matt.
When everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life. At Central Minnesota Credit Union, we've streamlined our financial tools to ensure you have everything you need all under one roof. Whether you're starting a family, starting a business, or buying a home, CMCU is here to be a trusted financial partner. CMCU offers free checking options and a network of financial experts. Because when everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
Hi, this is Mallory Stotterell
and Erica Saylor from Lakes Ace Hardware.
You can expect expert help for your next project at Lakes Ace Hardware,
right here in downtown Perham.
Check out the Backyard in Perham. They have the largest selection of bird seed, assorted suets, and bird feeders in the area. Over 50 different varieties of pet food and pet treats, and an even bigger selection of pet toys, leashes, collars, and more. The Backyard is also your pet's destination for a spa day. The grooming salon is open Monday through Friday for grooms, nail trims, and baths. And book a stay for your pet at the Backyard Boarding and Play Care, a brand new facility made to make your pet feel at home. If your pet needs a comfortable place to stay, call Backyard Boarding and Play Care.
There's no question that yield is at the core of everything we do at Stein. It's why we are here today, and it's what will continue to propel us and our growers into the future of agriculture. Stein and List E3 soybeans provide a significant dollar per acre yield benefit, plus access to the best weed control in the industry. That is yield plus results. Yield expected, yield delivered. Stein and List E3 soybeans have yield.
Well, welcome back here to the Hive. Yellowjackets earn a victory over Sauk Center Melrose. They have moved some junior varsity matches over to mat number 1 to kind of speed things along on that level as well.
And we'll let them play in the background as we do some recap here. And it was an interesting duel. And one of the things that you can say is the positive for Sauk Center Melrose is you get 4 wins and you get 6 points in all 4 wins. All of a sudden, that looks pretty good. And it probably took a duel that was not looking so good, and all of a sudden they've got 24 points on the board and made it look a lot closer than maybe it was. So hats off to them. So we'll go quickly. Excuse me. We'll go quickly through what happened in case you got to join in late or whatever. This is how it started out. Dresden Wegscheid at 106. He lost by fall to Dominic Kurzman in a good match. Dresden got in on a single shot, and then Kurzman headlocked him and took the fall. And then at 113, Carson Zeise, he won by forfeit. At 120 was probably the match of the night. Tegan Detloff won by sudden victory, 5-4. Chandler Mickelson wins by by forfeit. Nick Peters by forfeit. Carson Beyer wins by fall in a real nice match by Carson and pulls the fall out in the last seconds. Excuse me, a little tickle in the throat there after talking that long. We go to 145. Caden Felt loses by fall to a really nice looking athlete from Sauk Center Melrose and Jose de los Santos. Jose picks up his 21st win on the season. We move on to 152, and this is kind of where things kind of fell apart if you're a Sauk Center Melrose fan, as we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forfeits in a row, kind of in the heart of the order, and maybe a little planned, as it's kind of where the Yellowjackets have made some hay throughout the school year here and out throughout this wrestling season. So Logan Cook at 152 picks up a win by forfeit, as does Blake Lawrence at 160. followed by Braylon Rock at 170, Brian Ramos at 182, and Hudson Hackle at 195. And then we picked back up with wrestling at 220 as Jackson Vetch came out, and he lost by fall to Kevin Rea, who evens his record at 10-10 on the season. Nice match, and they both kind of went for a headlock type throw, and Rea was on bottom and somehow kept his momentum going and kind of flipped the script on young Mr. Jackson Vetch, and Jackson ended up on his back, and Rea did a nice job of settling in for the fall. And then at 285, Reese Wilprick loses by fall as well. So the 6 points, the bonus points were there for Sauk Center Melrose. Just way too many open weights for that one. And like we said, that doesn't mean that coming up in the next match is that's all of them are going to be open. I could see them having a couple other wrestlers going against UCB in a few of those spots, so it'll be interesting to see. But in the end, too much Yellowjackets, and again, a nice victory for Coach Dave Vetch and his young men that runs their record to 8-12 on the season, and slowly creeping back to that 500 type of record. And the way I look at it is they've wrestled some really good opponents, going to Eden Prairie, doing, not that I'm counted towards a team, but being at the Rumble, doing those sorts of things. There's some really good wrestling and some really good competition that the Yellowjackets have seen this year. So it's good to see it kind of come to a night like this where maybe they got some victories in some spots where some kids needed some victories.
Indeed, you mentioned that competition that they face. It's really helped them and prepared them going forward. And you look at coming ahead, the Yellowjackets with Frazee, and then potentially they'll take on Grand Rapids. That's a potential thing there. And then he closes out with Wilmer and Moorhead. They're going to be primed and ready to go for the second tournament.
Right, and then they've got another Saturday tournament yet as they're at the Don Dravis Duels and Staples Motley. And I think it's a chance to see some teams that you don't normally get to see. And that's maybe one of the harder parts that doesn't get talked about a lot. It's hard to keep going to the same events up north because you end up seeing the same teams over and over again, and you might, as an individual, wrestle the same kids 5 or 6 times during the year and then have to see them again, possibly in the team tournament and the individual tournament. So it's good to get away, and sometimes we think about the negativity of travel. Sometimes it's a must. I can't imagine what you would hear if you went to a basketball and it was the 5th time you played that team that year. It'd be like, what, again? Why is this happening? And that's what happens in wrestling. If you don't decide to travel out of kind of your realm or your area, you all end up going to the same tournament, so you see each other every weekend, and that gets rough too. So as we wait for this next duel to come up, we'll kind of set the stage for you one more time just to let you know what's going to happen. We'll probably step away here coming up real shortly. We'll be back for the last match. We'll talk a little bit about the Yellowjacket seniors. So we might come back a little bit early depending on what happens. We'll see where we're at in the duel and how fast this next duel goes. We will stay on this same live stream. So if you want to keep it playing, we'll have the crowd mic out there. You'll probably be able to hear announcer Bruce Perham from across the way announcing who's wrestling who, and you'll keep informed that way. Jason and I are going to step away for a minute or two, and we'll kind of make sure the controls are working right and be up here to maybe run a few commercial ads. But speaking of commercial ads, again, I'd just like to thank our sponsors, KLN Family Brands, Lakes Ace Hardware, United Community Bank, EOT Insurance, Arvig, KLN Family Brands, Stein Seeds, Central Minnesota Credit Union, United Community Bank in the backyard for making this possible. So you kind of see we're kind of at the deadlock as we get going. We'll get back in time for the 106 match for there. We'll run some of our ads. We will not be starting another stream tonight, so you can stay on the same stream, look for the same stream. I don't know how do we have it labeled, Jason, if they go out to YouTube? Do you know?
Yeah.
Offhand, I put him on the spot. I shouldn't do that. But
Perham, I usually do is a magnitude search, magnitude sports stream, search for that, and usually the live streams show up and they'll be ours right away.
Right, and if you shut it off and come back, click the live button on the side, and it will get you if you start and say, hey, wait a second, I already watched them do Sauk Center Melrose. Hit the live button, and we'll be able to, you'll catch right back up to where we're at. But stick around. It should be a good matchup here. I see both coaches are starting to go through some drills, talking about what's going to happen. The officials are out here, so I can't imagine it's going to be too much longer, but it gives us a good time to run some spots for our sponsors and to get you set up. Go get some popcorn, go get your supper, be ready to watch the rest of these matches.
There's no question that yield is at the core of everything we do at Stein. It's why we are here today, and it's what will continue to propel us and our growers into the future of agriculture. Stein and List E3 soybeans provide a significant dollar per acre yield benefit, plus access to the best weed control in the industry. That is yield plus results. Yield expected, yield delivered. Stein and List E3 soybeans have yield.
Perham Public Schools, School of Champions. Perham Public Schools, School of Champions.
KLN is home to great companies like Kenny's Candy and Tuppy's Pet Foods. Matt Nagel here. I was raised right here in Lakes Country. Our products are top notch. Working for a successful, locally owned family business means job security, pride, and a connection to our local communities. Join us at Kenny's Candy. Experience an awesome benefit program, competitive wages, a sign-on bonus, and profit sharing. Shop local, work local. Get started at klnfamilybrands.com or call 347-0525 and ask for Matt.
Hi, I'm Trevor Seaman with United Community Bank, and today we're down at the Gathering Grounds, joined with Ashley Clifton.
Hello.
Ashley, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
What's the best part for you about working with United Community Bank?
Besides just that they believed in me and kind of took a chance on me and helped me get it all together, I think what's more is that they really do support the community. They come in the store all the time. They don't just give us business, but they, encourage our business, buy gift cards in the winter when we're slower to give to other, locals and businesses. So it's just really inspirational for me.
Odds are there's an ace right in your neighborhood. With expert advice and the right tools to make your quick fixes even quicker. Around the block, what you need in stock. With people who know their stuff. Welcome to the Home Convenience Store.
Hi, this is Mallory Stotterell.
And Erica Saylor from Lakes Ace Hardware.
You can expect expert help for your next project at Lakes Ace Hardware,
right here in downtown Perham.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life. At Central Minnesota Credit Union, we've streamlined our financial tools to ensure you have everything you need all under one roof. Whether you're starting a family, starting a business, or buying a home, CMCU is here to be a trusted financial partner. CMCU offers free checking options and a network of financial experts. Because when everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life.
They say a dollar doesn't go far these days, but in my classroom, it does. Especially when I can use it to buy technology to keep my students on the cutting edge of learning.
Arvig donates money to my school
through a school partnership program.
$1 of your payment goes to area schools like mine for computers, tablets, smart technology.
It doesn't cost me anything extra to provide a better,
brighter,
more connected classroom.
Check out the Backyard in Perham. They have the largest selection of bird seed, assorted suets, and bird feeders in the area. Over 50 different varieties of pet food and pet treats, and an even bigger selection of pet toys, leashes, collars, and more. The Backyard is also your pet's destination for a spa day. The grooming salon is open Monday through Friday for grooms, nail trims, and baths. And book a stay for your pet at the Backyard Boarding and Play Care, a brand new facility made to make your pet feel at home. If your pet needs a comfortable place to stay, call Backyard Boarding and Play Care.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
You didn't like the call? Please remember the officials on the court and the field have the best view of the action as it happens. More officials are needed. People like you. Stay connected to the game you love. Contact the NDHSAA, MSHSL, or your local high school to find out how to become an official. This message courtesy of Magnitude Sports.
Jake, no video games till your homework's done, bud.
It is done, Mom. What about your homework?
My homework?
Arvik donates $1 from our internet payment each month. Helps buy technology for my classroom. Computers, tablets, stuff that wasn't invented when you were in school.
Haha, good one.
It's free.
School partnership program. That's an easy assignment.
I can see it now. Video games for every student.
KLN is home to great companies like Kenny's Candy and Tuffy's Pet Foods. Matt Nagel here. I was raised right here in Lakes Country. Our products are top-notch. Working for a successful, locally owned family business means job security, pride, and a connection to our local communities. Join us at Kenny's Candy. Experience an awesome benefit program, competitive wages, a sign-on bonus, and profit sharing. Shop local, work local. Get started at klnfamilybrands.com or call 347-0525 and ask for Matt.
Hi, I'm Trevor Seaman with United Community Bank, and today we're down at the Gathering Grounds, joined with Ashley Clifton.
Hello.
Ashley, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
What's the best part for you about working with United Community Bank?
Besides just that they believed in me and kind of took a chance on me and helped me get it all together, I think what's more is that they really do support the community. They come in the store all the time. They don't just give us business, but they, encourage our business, buy gift cards in the winter when we're slower to give to other, locals and businesses. So it's just really inspirational for me.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
Hi, this is Mallory Stotterell
and Erica Saylor from Lakes Ace Hardware.
You can expect expert help for your next project at Lakes Ace Hardware,
right here in downtown Perham.
Checking your credit score the easy way. Keeping your checking safe. Always.
They say $1 doesn't go far these days, but in my classroom, it does. Especially when I can use it to buy technology to keep my students on the cutting edge of learning.
Arvik donates money to my school through a school partnership program.
$1 of your payment goes to area schools like mine for computers, tablets, smart technology.
It doesn't cost me anything extra to provide a better,
brighter,
more connected classroom.
Check out the Backyard in Perham. They have the largest selection of bird seed, assorted suets, and bird feeders in the area. Over 50 different varieties of pet food and pet treats, and an even bigger selection of pet toys, leashes, collars, and more. The Backyard is also your pet's destination for a spa day. The grooming salon is open Monday through Friday for grooms, nail trims, and baths. And book a stay for your pet at the Backyard Boarding and Play Care, a brand new facility made to make your pet feel at home. If your pet needs a comfortable place to stay, call Backyard Boarding and Play Care.
Well, welcome back once again to the Hive. I'm Jason Gross with Lance Rock. We're now getting ready for our final match of the night, which will feature the United Clay Becker Badgers and the Perham Yellowjackets. Both teams picked up wins earlier tonight and now have an opportunity to try to close out with a W tonight and get some momentum going into their next competition. The Yellowjackets will also honor their seniors here momentarily as they get ready for this contest with United Clay Becker.
Right, and if you followed along, the final score ended up being United Clay Becker 45, Sauk Center Melrose 30, and kind of what we had predicted, Jason. There were a few more matches in there just because of the way things lined up, and some really good takeaways. If you're a Sauk Center Melrose fan, they really were a bonus point machine for the ones that wrestled, so a really good look for them. And UCB has done a really nice job in the last few years with numbers, and just watching this program grow under Coach Strelo. I've gotten to know him over the last few years. A super nice guy, has just a real heart for the sport and for these kids, and it shows. And I think the same thing you can't really see off of the mat to our left, but the Yellow Jacket group is also growing. There's a lot of yellow in the gym right now working at picking up mats and getting ready for this final one, and that's a lot of these sports nowadays, Jason. It sure seems like it's becoming a numbers game. Do you have enough people out? Do you have enough in case of an injury? Numbers are important in all sports, I think.
Well, I think you're right. You're seeing programs number-wise kind of dwindle down here throughout, and there's so many options, which is a good thing to have options if you're kids. There's so many different options, but you definitely like to see them out here on the mat or out in the gym in some way or shape or form instead of, I'm not knocking the gaming. It's a big thing. Esports is a huge thing, and I wish the best with that, but sometimes some sports aren't for you, but I'd like to see them out in different ways.
And I think you and I can attest, we both probably have played our fair share of games on a sporting device as well. And the other thing is you can't tell kids what, but looking back and becoming the age we are, or at least the age I am, I think I've got you beat by quite a few years yet, Jason, but you realize how fast these high school years go by. And it's your one chance that you never really can gain again. And that's where it's so interesting, like softball. I mean, men's league softball, it's not to play softball. It's that camaraderie of being with your buddies again. You just can't replicate that. Bowling, throwing darts. I think, we're both ladies and men are all looking for ways to get together and to build that camaraderie that they had through sports. And I hate to see kids not have that opportunity.
Well, that's one of the things I like. But as small as a town as Perham has a lot of those opportunities. And tonight, a chance to see one of those opportunities here right in front of us. The Yellowjackets getting ready to warm up here as they get ready to take on United Clay Becker, which for some of you tuning in, I know a lot of you are usually wrestling fans and know a lot about this, but United Clay Becker is a mixture of schools.
Right. It's Holly and Lake Park and Audubon, close. They don't pair up for a ton of things. This is one it does, and it's worked for both schools. As far as I have seen in the past, I haven't been around wrestling as long as probably some of the people listening, but I've been around long enough to see that it's been a good, healthy combination, and probably those two schools alone couldn't support what they need to. Together, they make a really formidable opponent in 8AA, and it continues to grow. Kind of to change subject real quick as I'm watching, Jason, this is probably one of my most favorite nights. Senior night is awesome. Parents' night is awesome. They're combining it with Mat Rat night. And you're probably see on the corner of your screen some of our youth wrestlers now with a varsity. And I got to witness this from both Layton and Braylon being youngsters who couldn't wait to be out and have their name called and run out on the mat with a varsity wrestler to then becoming the varsity wrestler that took a youth. And I think that's one of these things that is just so awesome to see. That's one of the things I really like about the sport of wrestling. I think all sports do it well. Wrestling does it very well, where these kids all feel a part of this program from fourth grade, second grade on up. They're together, and this is one of the ways you'll see them get called out. They're hanging out with a mentor or somebody that they know from the room, and it's really kind of a neat night where they work on T-shirts together to throw out in the crowd. And I know from my boys being young, they loved it, and I can see that same kind of enjoyment out of these youngsters as they're waiting to be called out on the mat with an older wrestler.
Well, and that's another thing you talk about, program building, and that's what that does. It helps builds program. These youngsters get to look up to their local heroes right in front of them.
Right, and and it's one thing to see them in the stands. It's another thing to go shoulder to shoulder with them and be introduced on the mat. And there's still something about it, Jason, and I get kind of chills down my spine thinking about hearing your name called over if it was out on the football field, softball field, baseball diamond, wherever it might be. When you hear your name, there's just something really awesome about that, and it's something that sticks for a lifetime. And for these kids, it may stick for a lifetime.
Well, you look at the mat right now, you can see on our screen, there's maybe 2 high school wrestlers getting ready to warm up and for their matches, and about 10 kids, youth wrestlers, kind of having their own little matches.
And here they are, probably center stage at a varsity night. So eyes wide open for them, and just so excited to be a part of what Yellow Jacket Wrestling. So hats off to the Mat Club. I know they play a part into it, the coaching staff. This is really, really a good thing for Yellow Jacket Wrestling, and you're kind of seeing a mix of it as kids are coming off and they're wrestling with the older kids and wrestling with the younger kids. So just a great night, and then to honor those seniors as well. And any sport that you go through, if you put in the time and the dedication and the effort, no matter what your role is on the team, to go from little kids, and it seems like it gets younger and younger. We're seeing pre-K now playing basketball, wrestling, doing those sorts of things, from T-ball, and to make it all the way through, they deserve to be honored, and it's a nice night to share that with them, all the hard work and dedication that they put in. So we got a lot of things coming up. We'll try to get you to see as many as you can, but right now I think we'll hear a word from our sponsors, and thank you for joining in on the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Jake, no video games till your homework's done, bud.
It is done, Mom. What about your homework?
My homework?
Arvik donates $1 from our internet payment each month. Helps buy technology for my classroom. Computers, tablets, stuff that wasn't invented when you were in school.
Haha, good one.
It's free.
School partnership program. That's an easy assignment.
I can see it now. Video games for every student.
Well, welcome back here to the Hive as introductions of the Yellow Jacket seniors taking place.
First one up is Reese Wilprick. Reese wrestling 285. Like I said, had a great conference tournament, won it. He's being joined by Carter Seedorf, and if you're kind of going, what? Carter Seedorf, unfortunately, suffered a knee injury in football, wasn't able to compete this year the way he wanted to compete. Has been a part of the weight room, been a part kind of inspiring the kids by his comeback, and getting a chance to be recognized here tonight is huge. Up next on the mat is Brian Ramos. Brian's going to end with a really storied career here as a Yellow Jacket. I would guess he's going to be a multi-time state place winner. He's going to be up on the upper echelon of the wins, probably be the takedown king in the room for his career. So Brian Ramos is a name that most people recognize when you talk about the sport of wrestling.
There's just a nice article on him, if you get a chance to check that out, in the local media, in the Perham Focus, on Brian Ramos and him, and talking with Zach Peterson, the current holder of that takedown record, and how Brian kind of said, hey, I'm going to take that from you, and had a nice little conversation, and him and Zach had that good relationship about that.
Yep, you got to love that. And up next is Blake Lawrence, and Blake is he's just a grinder, and Blake is one of the nicest, best kids you're going to know. I know he's helped Braylon tremendously in his career, of giving him just a formidable opponent in the weight room, and in the room all the time. And so just huge, he's just been such a mainstay to the Yellowjacket wrestling. And Blake is going to do great things and has been really, really good in the wrestling room as a leader. So super proud of him.
Now a couple of foreign exchange students that have been a part of the program this year, Hugo Hames, and I believe that was Broden Shekra.
Yep, I think you got it. I'd let you pronounce those. Did you like how I threw it to you, Jason?
Yeah, I did. Hugo Hames has kind of really bought into the Perham thing. He was a homecoming king this year, and
part of the football team, now part of the wrestling team. I know he got his first win the other night, and got another win, finished 5th in the Heart of the Lakes Conference, so got to be up on the podium. And so not a huge senior class, which one way you can look at it is, wow, that's, not many seniors in the program, but what they lack for numbers, they sure showed in heart. And they are just a great group of young men that I have no doubt are going to make their impact on this world. And that's the end game of being an athlete, is what can you do at that next level? And I don't even mean participating. I mean, what do you do in life? And these guys are going to be awesome people to look up to in the years coming. So hats off to those seniors. Great group of seniors, been good leaders on and off the mat for the Yellowjackets, and so proud of each one of them, and they deserve this evening, like we said, Jason.
Indeed, and they're going to get ready. As you can tell, the lights are starting to get dim, and now we'll have the spotlights on the ring, and it should be a fun one as United Clay Becker gets ready to take on the Yellowjackets here tonight at the Hive. We'll also like to keep you up to date as much as we can if we get updates from just down the road. The Perham Yellowjackets girls basketball team taking on the Frazee Hornets, and a senior there is closing in on a milestone. Potentially will get her goal of 6 points tonight to get to the 1,000-point mark in her career. Sydney Anderson will be hoping to hit that milestone early tonight against Frazee, and which will be unique because it's going to be in her father's court, alma mater of a Frazee Hornet.
And I think if I read right, she said her dad got his in Perham, and now she was kind of like to repay the favor and get her 1,000th point in Frazee. Right. And so, you can't write some of these stories, Jason. And that's, again, it's such a great group of kids, and I feel very fortunate to be someone who gets to work with all of these kids every day. And I know from 5th grade on, which is what I teach, it's just fun to be around them. And again, we've talked about it before, about how people say the youth are different than they used to be. I think there's a lot of good in youth. It's what we find, and with social media and all those things, you hear about things that maybe you wouldn't have heard about. But these are really, really good, hard-working kids, both in the classroom and on the mat or court or whatever arena that they're playing in.
Well, you're spot on there. You talk about that. I mean, times change. It's a little bit different, but it's how you adapt to those things. And kids are kids and have been outstanding. You mentioned how hard working. You got different programs that are in here at 6:30 in the morning in the weight rooms and the open gyms, taking advantage of their opportunities, getting ready for their respective seasons.
Right, and it's really hard to find a time that this facility is not being used for something that the kids are trying to make themselves better in, and that's dedication and hard work, and hopefully you always hope that it pays off. It might not always be during that season, but it's going to be at some point. And now we're going to go to the lineups, and you're going to see the youth run out with, and they'll shake the hands and be a part of this. So pretty awesome.
We'll let PA announcer Bruce Perham introduce the matchups.
And that matchup right there was a final matchup at HOL. So
nice hands there, Lance, as you were able to haul that one in.
Didn't even know that one was coming either.
And I was impressed you got it off the deflection.
Maybe volleyballs in my future.
You may see some of the wrestlers are throwing out shirts, and Lance was able to get one with a nice grab.
Yeah. If I can say I surprised myself, I probably surprised myself by catching it there. Took me back to the old Verndale Pirate days. Boy, that's dating myself there. Oh, man. So I think we're going to see some really good matchups tonight. And again, if you kind of were wondering, that was the Mat Rat night, that they call it, where those kids, and you just see the big smiles. They get to spend the whole time here with the Yellowjackets. They'll be in the huddle. They'll get to kind of get the flavor of what it's like. And like you said, what a way to build a program, Jason. And that's what's so fun. And you get to see the edge, and they'll be in there shaking hands, and they'll understand that, hey, I might go to an elementary wrestling tournament and I get beat and I'm sad about it. So are these guys at a varsity level, that not everyone ends in a victory, and you learn how to handle those situations. So a good all-around teaching, learning experience for the older kids and for the younger kids. And it's nice to have this back where we get some, we're coming live into your living room for sure. And we'll start out this evening with Dresden Wegscheid. Dresden's 4-17 on the year at 106 pounds. Dresden's an 8th grader doing just a really fine job. The record doesn't show what he's been doing for the Yellowjackets, and he's going to take on Cody Johnson, a 9th grader, who at 106. And I don't have a record for Mr. Johnson, but looks like we're right off. Nice shuck by there by Dresden, and this is what we've seen from Dresden. He's got all the right moves, and I think he's going to be a name that if you look for in the future, remember the name Dresden Wegscheid, because he's going to be one of those guys that are going to be a staple for the Yellowjackets for years to come. On that shuck by, Dresden takes a 2-0 lead, doing a really outstanding job of kind of being really heavy on the shoulders right now. Looks like he had an Iowa tied up in there, doing a really nice job, but heavy pressure on the shoulders. Nice arch trying to get out there by Cody Johnson, but Dresden's doing a nice job kind of sticking like glue there. Again, we're at the 106 match. It's kind of nice. The lights, we got the spotlights. One of the neat features of the gym that was thought of was putting those spotlights. So it comes across, it looks really awesome on our screen. I hope it looks just as awesome for you guys watching here. Drez is in an arm bar, steps over the top. He should be getting back points. There we go. And this is a tough one. He's settling in really nicely, but great job there by Cody Johnson to fight out of that. A nice tight arm bar is usually really tough to go. And if you're new to the sport, he's holding that, the ref's holding the 3, and he doesn't award it till it's a different move being put on. So as soon as Dresden switched his move, he gets the 3-point near fall, and it's 5-0.
Strong start. Very good opening first period for Dresden, for Wakeshide, who had a tough opening match earlier tonight.
Right, and he was kind of driving the bus again. Again, I think just size again got to him, where he ended up getting headlocked off of a nice shot and got thrown to his back for a pin. But here Dresden again, this time he meets the shot from Cody Johnson and kind of gets into that front headlock. Let's see, he shucked last time. Let's see if he can get through there again. He needs to get his leg free. Oh, now he's going underneath. Step over, nice move there by Dresden Wakeshide, and this is tight. So Dresden's picking up back points, but whoa, some strong arch. Man, that was a bridge like I haven't seen for a while, but good job by Cody Johnson. But Dresden locks it right back up, and there's your fall. So congratulations, Dresden Wakeshide, on the fall to get the Yellowjackets started with a 6-0 lead. For the UCB Badgers at 113, you probably heard announcer Bruce Perham. Tristan Strom, an 8th grader, don't have a record for him. Carson Zeise for the Yellowjackets, 2-7 on the season. And one thing I can tell you about Carson is he's really started to come out of the gate with confidence, and he does it right there with the early takedown, and then the release makes it 2-1. So look for high action from Zeise as his confidence is just building, and there another nice takedown makes it 4-1. Let's see if he works on top or plays the game. Nope, now he's got that arm locked, waiting for some back point count. And there it is. Once we get to the count of 5, you'll see the 3 down on the mat, and he's locking it up kind of tight. And there's the fall, so quick fall at 54 seconds by Carson Zeise, who is really coming on here as of late. So nice win for the Yellowjackets, puts them up 12-0 to start this match, and you couldn't start any better, Jason.
Well, it's been ideal for the Yellowjackets as they're gotten off to that fast start, and they hope to continue it here.
At 120, we have Taylor Johnson, 3-1 on the season, probably coming off. I see we got wrist hand taped up. He's a junior against freshman or 7th grader Tegan Detloff, who probably had the match of the meet in the first one, as he went into sudden victory and won 5-4. And Tegan is no stranger to the mat and wrestling older kids, as he's been doing that a lot. And just as I say that, Taylor Johnson's in on the double, but Tegan meets it and wizards out of it really nicely and gets out of bounds and gets a restart. So nice job there by Tegan Detloff. Well, we restart in the middle again. We'd like to thank our sponsors again. Tegan takes a shot there, gets in on a nice shot, but met really nicely. Now kind of that front headlock position kind of rocks, but they go out of bounds. But again, we'd like to thank KLN Family Brands, Lakes Ace Hardware, United Community Bank, EOT Insurance, Arvig, KLN, Stein Seed, Central Minnesota Credit Union, United Community Bank, and the Backyard for bringing this to you, as Johnson's in on a single now. Heavy wizard here. Heavy wizard by Tegan. Tegan kind of gets in a good spot right there, but then readjustment by Johnson gets him in a good spot. So Johnson ends up with the takedown on a scramble situation, And again, it might just be that veteran experience of a junior versus a 7th grader. And let's see what Johnson tries to do as he locks up the Iowa and starts to put some heavy pressure on Teagan's shoulders. Again, one of the things that I think we saw in the first one with Teagan was he faced a really good rider from Sauk Center Melrose and really got rode out for 2 periods. And so that's one of the things, that's a tough spot in wrestling is, especially when you're younger, is to work on those areas. And here Teagan gets back to his base. Nice job, and just keep arching and put some pressure on and get up. But end of the period, so Johnson takes a 2-0 lead into the second. Johnson defers, and Teagan says both up, which is probably a lot of times you want to take down, try to get that point, but I think just Johnson's size right now and strength, smart by Teagan. Teagan in on the shot. Johnson meets the shot. Teagan's showing some nice strength here, though. It ends up kind of like it did last time with Johnson being in that front headlock position, and that's a tough spot when you don't have your head. Teagan tries the throw, and Johnson stepped around behind him. They initially gave him the takedown, then wiped it off as Teagan kept scrambling. So good job of Teagan not giving up on that and just saying, hey, I gave up the 2 points. So again, one of those that if you're teaching young kids, keep working at all times. Both of them kind of locked up, just got that one side locked up. Neither one really trying for that shot, kind of more upper body type work going in here. And Teagan's matching at upper body, and again, they're wrestling that edge of the mat, so when either one feels a little bit of pressure, they seem to go off and get that restart. So I think first one with a good shot at a single here is gonna be big in this match, as it's still 2-0 in favor of Taylor Johnson of UCB. I know Taylor's loss came to Mickelson in the HOL, the Heart of the Lakes tournament this past weekend. It was a good match, but Mickelson did a really nice job. Teagan in on a shot. Let's see if he can turn the corner here. Johnson's doing a nice job of just kind of rolling into him, but I don't know that either Detloff got the takedown. He's not in a real great spot, but it's a short time, so hopefully he can hang on here in this 2 seconds, and he does. And nice job by Teagan Detloff getting that takedown, tying the score 2-2. Johnson's choice. He chooses both up, which I was kind of surprised a little bit. Thought he might take the down position, take his 1 point, go up 3-2, but decides he wants to win it on his feet. So again, if you're a Yellowjackets fan, you start looking and go, man, Dresden Wegscheid 8th grade, Carson Zeise 7th grade, Teagan Detloff 7th grade, and you start understanding where this youth is coming from and how much confidence they're gaining right now as Teagan's wrestling a junior right now, and Taylor Johnson, and has got it all knotted up at 2.
It'll be interesting to see how these final minute and 17 seconds plays out between these two. Have been a pretty even match between the junior and the 7th grader.
Yeah, really nice match here by Teagan, and like I said, he's been around the mat. He's used to wrestling up in years. As there's that shot, and that shot gets a stall call on Detloff as he's backing off the mat a little bit, and Teagan's dad, Paul, is a part of the wrestling program, helps out with the younger group. He's on the sideline right now, was a really accomplished wrestler at Staples Motley. And so the bloodline's there for Teagan to be kind of that type of athlete. And he's stepping right in as a 7th grader, which is really impressive. Tegan goes into the double underhook, so let's see if he tries a little action with 30-some seconds, 32 seconds remaining here. Off of that double, Johnson gets back into that single leg, but they're right on that edge of the mat again, and off they go in a restart with 27 seconds. Detloff right off the whistle gets in on that single. Now he's got to just get that thing hoisted up. He's trying to kick his leg over to stay out of that wizard type situation from Johnson. Johnson's getting heavy. It should be 2 coming up here for Detloff, I believe. Nothing yet as Johnson comes over the top, and there's 2, and no. And he's out of bounds on the roll.
They rewarded him the 2.
They awarded him the 2. No reversal. 2 seconds remaining. And there it is, and a huge victory for Tegan Detloff over Taylor Johnson. And again, it's wrestling right through to the very end. And nice job by young Mr. Tegan Detloff, and one that he'll want to go back and watch for sure.
The Yellowjackets will pick up a victory here as Chandler Mickelson has quite the night without wrestling and gets the 2 wins.
And I'm sure if you're Chandler, you'd like to get out on that mat to kind of start burning a few calories and doing those sorts of things. You might see him with a jump rope or something, trying to get a little exercise in here to stay keeping it going. And we're going to go right into 132. That was 126, so Mickelson bumped up to 126. Nick Peters for the Yellowjackets. Nick comes in with a 12-11 record. 132. He is wrestling Jackson Mickelson, who's a sophomore. Mickelson, I saw in the first one's really a strong kid. And it comes to show right away. He kind of just uses that brute power over Nick Peters, who is a freshman. Jackson Mickelson did not wrestle at the HOL, so this is my first time seeing him too. And what I saw against Sauk Center Melrose is he's really, really a strong kid and a tough rider, and that's kind of what he's doing right now.
And different spelling on the last name than Chandler Mickelson, so no relation.
Yeah,
if people
correct.
were wondering.
I think it caught announcer Bruce Prine there when they were doing is with the Mickelson. Yeah, excellent point, Jason. Again, it's kind of nice. I like the triangular, but it's kind of nice to have this this setup where we can use the scoreboard the way it was meant to be here for the nightcap, and the gym's filling in a little bit. When you get the wrestling mat, it kind of tightens things up with both teams standing and cheering on their teammates, and it just really is a nice showcase for the Hive outside of playing basketball here, which we all know is a really a good venue for basketball. It's an excellent venue to watch wrestling as well. Again, Jackson Mickelson just being a tough rider. We have about 34 seconds remaining on the clock, and after that initial takedown, he's just kind of locked it up. And one of the things that it'll be interesting to see is I've always kind of wondered is that parallel riding, and now he's kind of slipping off to the side, but it's really tough for a wrestler to get out when you kind of got that whole back of covered up and not much. And so now he gets off to the side. Nick Peters makes a nice, tries to spin out of there, but caught again by Jackson Mickelson. And again, I don't see Mickelson really working on much, just using his brute strength to get to the end of the period, which he does, leading 2-0. Mickelson defers. And after the good ride out there, Peters says we'll go both up, which is probably a smart move, but he also did get taken down, but had a nice shot. And here he goes again. We're kind of going throw for throw right there. And both of them right off to the edge of the mat, and they kind of disappeared into the darkness there a little bit. And both what we've seen from Nick Peters as well is he's kind of a high flyer. So I think somebody's going to get thrown to their back in this one, Jason.
I couldn't agree more. And I was just talking, you talk about as that's taking place.
And they both slide out of bounds, but Nick was really thinking maybe he had it there, but when both of them go right off the whistle to underhooks, you know that one of them's they're trying to do the same thing to each other in kind of the same style.
Let's say you mentioned them going into the darkness, and you talk about that. One of the things that I know many sports reporters love the look, but it's perhaps the toughest to shoot.
I would say getting the lighting right would be, I don't know anything about it, taking pictures like that, because I'm a cell phone picture taker myself, so whatever happens with the cell phone is what happens. But here's a nice job of Mickelson really changed his style there, kind of showed that upper body and then just slid right down and got down to the legs, and now is in the spot that I really think he likes to try to dominate you just with this physicality. So 4-0 lead, but there's Peters, slips right out of it and does the reversal. So 4-2, and we're right back to where we were 20 seconds ago. Peters looking for the cradle. Got a nice cross face in there. They're right on the edge of the mat, so Peters has got to watch where he's going. I think if he flips over, they're going to be off the mat, and the official's watching that really closely now. So if he somehow can spin him all the way through, come back towards the official, we might be in business right here. But if you're Mickelson, you got to be thinking, know where you're at, try to get off the mat. But nice job by Peters. He just keeps spinning there.
Well, this might be one of those moments for Mickelson. Is this where you try to get heavy and become even tougher to move?
Right, and I think you look at the time, where the time was almost out there, Jason. And again, I was almost expecting a stalemate there, but then I looked at the clock and realized that the official's probably going to let game on with no harm, no foul there. Nobody was going to do anything if you went back to the middle with 3 or 4 seconds left. So I'm just going to say this is anybody's ball game right now, because both of them have shown the ability to want to throw or be thrown, and here we go right back to it, and there's the headlock, and I dare say Mickelson baited him into that, and Mickelson's looking for 6 here, not just, but Peters has kind of got, I don't want to say he's totally locked in, but now it looks like Mickelson got free there, now is walking over the head. So a 2-point takedown. Definitely going to have 3-point near fall unless he sticks him here in the last. It's a long time to be sitting there, and there it is. And a fun match to call. Certainly didn't go the way Nick Peters wanted it to go. Nice job by Jackson Mickelson to pick up the pinfall and put UCB on the board and make the United Community Bank scoreboard 21-6 in favor of the Yellowjackets. At 1:38, the UCB Badgers bring out Cameron Smith, a senior. I don't have a record on him. I didn't see him at the Heart of the Lakes conference either. The Yellowjackets will bring out Carson Byer. Byer 12-17 on the year, a sophomore. And again, we've talked about Byer and how fun it is to watch him wrestle and how he has started to put it all together.
And in typical fashion, just down the road, Sydney Anderson hits a 3-pointer. She has 7 points. Gets her to 1,001 points in the game against the Hornets. Congratulations out to Sydney Anderson for eclipsing the 1,000 points for the Yellowjackets. I believe she becomes, I want to say, we're looking at, I believe, the 13th Yellowjacket girls basketball player to secure that mark.
Congratulations, Sid, and it's been a pleasure for us to call a lot of her games and watch it, and no better way for her to eclipse it. Jason, you said it beautifully, than to hit a 3-pointer, and I can imagine only the net tingling fashion that she usually hits a 3-pointer. I don't think she hardly hits rim when she's on. So congratulations to Sydney Anderson and to the Anderson family in a big milestone.
And touch on that quick, it was kind of funny. I saw a tweet today earlier from the Roseau coach, and the question was how many of those were 3-pointers for her to get to 1,000.
Yeah.
So
exactly. That's one of the nicer shots that's been in this gym. So again, congratulations to Sydney Anderson and the Anderson family on a well-deserved accomplishment of 1,000 points. Back to action here. We got about 20 seconds remaining. Still 0-0, so both of them kind of hand fighting here. And I have to say I looked away, Jason, when you said, because I thought I knew what was coming. And so I missed a little bit about that because of the big accomplishment. Here's a nice throw by Byer. And again, it's one of those that you always look at wrestling and you go, man, that always happens on the edge of the mat. Beyer throws, he kind of gets rolled through by Smith, and nobody scores. So it looks like we're going to go into the second period locked up at 0-0. It's Beyer's choice. He defers. Smith takes down. And again, we have a 21-6 score on the United Community Bank Wrestling scoreboard in favor of the hometown Perham Yellowjackets, as Smith makes short work of that and gets the escape.
Well, you said it, Beyer's always had those unique style matches, and you just anticipate that there's going to be some more scoring in this one.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, if you know Carson Beyer, it kind of fits his personality. He's a happy-go-lucky kid, and he's kind of... He makes everybody's day who he's around, and I think that's the way he wrestles, as everybody enjoys watching Carson Beyer wrestle, including myself. And so I just think it's so funny that it fits his personality so well. Here's a nice shuck by there by Carson Beyer, but great job by Smith, just kind of staying out of harm's way there. And now they're both locked up again right on the edge of the mat. Once they're on the edge of the mat, look for some fireworks here, either taking them out of bounds or one of the two of them scoring. And there Beyer is in on a shot, met nicely by Smith. And these two seem pretty evenly matched to start with. Any word on the score over in the Frazee area, or just the...
Just inquiring about that as we speak.
Perfect. Man, the old saying of great minds think alike, or at least common minds, maybe in our case, Jason.
I like to say great.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Thanks again for tuning in with us. We'd like to thank EOT Insurance, KLN Family Brands, United Community Bank, Lakes Ace Hardware, Arvig, Perham High School, Central Minnesota Credit Union, Stein Seed, and the Backyard. And I think I might have missed, I got United Community Bank in there. They get announced twice, and there's that quick takedown by Smith, and it's just when that hand touches and you're in the back. So takedown, escape, Beyer down 3-1. Beyer reshoots, and there's the heavy action that Jason was talking about. And I think the word last year that I probably used too much, and then we both started using, was fireworks. But it seems kind of fitting right there for those two.
As we head to the third period, an update just down the road with over 11 to go, or just under 11 to go in that the opening half. The Yellowjackets are up by 12, 17-5.
Nice start by the Yellow Jacket girls and Coach TJ Super. As I know he'll come home and watch us, Jason, as he always says he does. So we'll see. We'll quiz him tomorrow.
And I heard they received some good news this week that Greta Hillica will be back on the floor.
That's awesome news if you're a Yellow Jacket fan, and they'll be back in action on Friday.
We'll have them here against Wadena Deer Creek as part of a busy week. And Thursday night we'll have the boys in their rematch with the Barnesville Trojans.
And Friday against Wadena brings a former alumni back coaching, I believe, right, Jason?
And Jordan Cressup will be in the gym once again. Chatting with him a little bit today about his squad and hoping to get some more information from him. It'll be a unique one for me, used to covering his team.
Yeah, so what a great week. We got wrestling here for you now. Join us back Thursday for Barnesville, which beat the Yellow Jacket boys in overtime in Barnesville. So you know that's going to be a contest. And then follow up Friday with the girls against the WDC Wolverines and Coach Cressup. Not the Coach Cressup we're used to calling, but Coach Cressup in the house. Three to 2 here as Beyer got the escape. This match is kind of a hard one to call a little bit because they're both in on things and you think somebody's going to get it, and I'm afraid to call it too fast because then the other one does something and then I think they're the one on the good end. And here we've got a good shot by Smith. Beyer's kind of wrapped around the shoulder. Beyer throws, and this is just what I'm talking about. I thought Smith had it, then I thought Byer had it. Now it's Smith who just kind of sits in the chair like we used to teach the elementary kids. When you think you're getting headlocked or thrown over, just sit back like you're sitting in a chair and let them go by you, and he gets the takedown and is going to take a 5-2 victory and put 3 more points on the board for the UCB Badgers as Carson Byer goes down in defeat 5-2. In a really good match. That was a fun match to watch and to call. At 1:45, we're going to have Caden Felt, a junior. And for UCB, we're going to have Ryan Francis, an 8th grader. I don't have a record on Ryan Francis either. Caden is a junior. Caden comes in with a 10-22 record. Ran up against a good Jose De Los Santos from Sauk Center Melrose, who threw him in a headlock, and it was one of those matches like Byer's last one. Both of them went for the headlock throw. It ended up with De Los Santos gets the throw and got a pinfall against Felt. And here Felt is jacking up the double unders, trying for some sort of throw himself. Francis kind of just stays out of harm's way and gets out of that. So nice job by a young 8th grader, Ryan Francis, to get out of that double unders. Once you usually get locked up that tight, something's going to happen. And he did a nice job of just keeping his weight pressure back and then moving out of that. Shot by Francis there, nice in the double. Caden tries to throw over the top, kind of in a semi-type elevator move, and Francis has nothing to do with that, and he goes back to the center, followed by Felt. 30 seconds remain in this period. Felt heavy with the hands to the head, kind of baiting Francis into those double unders, and there he does the throw, but Francis rolls right through. He rolls right through it. We're going to have a little discussion. Both officials kind of said the same thing, so no score, no takedown there for Felt on a nice throw. Francis defers, Felt takes down. So Felt kind of got what he wanted, trying to frustrate him a little bit with some hands to the head. Francis made that move in. Felt went right to the double unders, and a quick lateral drop there happened out of bounds. But really impressed with Francis, how he spun out of that and didn't give up any points. Francis riding real heavy. Felt's head to the mat. He's going to have to try to work to his base here. There he does. Does a nice job getting to his base, explodes, but Francis follows really nicely there. And again, I think if you're looking, that separation, there was none from his chest to Felt's back, which allowed him to stay in there. So Felt gets back up to his base. Again, Francis, there's a stall warning because you have to return him to the mat eventually. So one stall, so that's the stall warning. The next one will be a point for Felt. Felt then escapes to take the 1-0 lead with 55 seconds remaining in this second period. Felt kind of going back to his original strategy, a lot of hands on head. Now being met by Francis, kind of just pushing his hands away. Again, Felt, I think, kind of baiting him into going into the, getting tighter and then trying to get to those double unders. But Francis is really good. Francis from a shot from a ways out, caught by Felt, which gets him into the double unders again. Nice job by Francis. He just kind of sits down in that position and does a really nice job of just sitting there and then forcing Felt to kind of feel uncomfortable and then releasing him. Francis is in on the double, running out of real estate, and then decides to, saw the time, decides to get out of harm's way. Francis down 1-0, Felt up 1-0. Francis chooses down, and we'll see what happens here if we tie all up and we're back to square one. Caution there on Felt. Not staying set on top. Felt nice job with a drive kind of up on his toes there. Gets into his arm bar, and Caden used to go to the arm bar a lot more than he does now, and I know that once you become an arm bar, everybody's trying to defend that. He has a really nice arm bar once he gets that lock tight, but a nice job by Francis, just stands up out of that. Once he stands up, it kind of put Caden in a bad spot, and he had to let go. So we're all tied at 1 minute 28 on your United Community Bank scoreboard clock. Another shot there by Francis, and again it leads them to out of bounds. So Francis has had some really nice shots here. Just they've always kind of ended up out of bounds, and I think for Caden here, he's going to have to be the aggressor now. Ryan Francis has taken his shots now, and Caden's done a nice job defending, but it's going to be Caden that has to score off this. There's a nice shot met by Felt, but really strong Francis, and then Caden kind of gets into that lateral drop situation again as they were going out of bounds, but it always, that momentum takes them out of bounds. So we're still tied at 1-1, 37 seconds remaining on the clock, and we've got a little blood timeout there. And they started the clock at 30, so we could probably take a quick timeout, Jason.
There's no question that yield is at the core of everything we do at Stein. It's why we are here today, and it's what will continue to propel us and our growers into the future of agriculture. Stein and List E3 soybeans provide a significant dollar per acre yield benefit, plus access to the best weed control in the industry. That is yield.
Well, what looked to be a lot longer blood timeout, it was more of a poke to the eye. We come back just in time to see Francis throw elevator by Felt. No points awarded yet, and there's 2 by Felt with 3 seconds to go. He's got the armbar look in there, and Felt will take that decision 3-1 in a highly contested match that had a little bit of everything in it, but a nice 3-1 win for Caden Felt. We'll be heading into the 152 category. The Yellowjackets are going to bring out Logan Gook, an 8th grader. So if you're following along, you've heard me right. There hasn't been a senior yet. Caden Felt, the first junior to wrestle. Now we're back to an 8th grader. And UCB Badgers will bring out Ethan Anderson, a senior, 10-11 on the season. Had a nice tournament at the HOL, right in on that Kelly or Fireman's there, and does a really nice job getting the takedown and is up 2-0. And this is a spot probably where if you're UCB, you want to try to get back on the board again. The United Community Bank scoreboard shows 24-9. This would be a big spot and would really tighten this up if it's bonus points. And if you're the Yellowjackets, you want young Mr. Gook to really fight the battle here and save some points. But Anderson back in. Gook is really doing a nice job fighting, holding that ankle, which allows not, and there's the 2. He's got to be careful because you don't want to give up that arm. And he's got that arm trapped, but he's doing a great job of sliding. And up 4-1 right now is Ethan Anderson of the UCB Badgers. And he's looking for more right now as he's got the legs crossed of young Mr. Gook, and that's not usually a good situation. And now we kind of get into a more normal, but he's trying to roll that wrist underneath. I think Gook's holding onto that hand underneath. There's a little cross face looking to see, and Logan Gook's going to have to keep kind of trying to go forward here to get, but he's got his legs all tangled up, and that's a tough spot. And here comes in that power half, and Gook's got a leg hooked. He's going to have to, he does let go of that, and nice job powering out, and they do give him 3 near fall. He's going to, looks like he's going to survive into the second period. Nice job, but when he had his legs hooked there, it was a rough spot. So 7-1 lead for Ethan Anderson, record 10-11, a senior, against Logan Gook. Logan Gook is 3-10 on the season and 8th grader for the Yellowjackets. Logan takes him back to the mat. Nice stand-up attempt. Nice stand-up attempt, and what led to a scramble situation, and Ethan Anderson escapes to now take an 8-1 lead, and he's been pretty much on the offense tonight with Logan Gook, and he goes right back to it and picks up that single leg.
The strength of Anderson, I mean, you can see the difference on the screen and the difference of years, and just Anderson's just built.
You know, and I think it's one of those things you start talking about. As an 8th grader, you might be strong. As a senior, you kind of got those man muscles started. And that's a huge difference in this sport, is just being able to impose your will sometimes, and that's kind of what's happening right now. But give credit where credit's due. Logan Gook's fighting right now.
Yes, indeed, and it's going to be a good learning opportunity for him as he continues to battle. But Anderson's got him in a tough, precarious position again.
Right, and it's a shame that it always kind of comes with a long period of time. So the officials kind of getting down, looking, but Gook is just really, he does a nice job of spinning his head out of there. But now he gets caught again, and the other arm gets caught this time, and he's in a bad spot with all that pressure being put on his shoulders with 30 seconds remaining in period number 2. He just continues to fight, though. Man, you got to give credit. I don't know that I would have that strong a willpower right now, Jason, and what he's doing is fighting hard. And again, he kind of somewhat gets back to his belly, and then Anderson throws it right back in there and tries to get him. But I think he's going to survive this, Jason. And if he does, wow, give credit. As good as Ethan Anderson is wrestling, give credit to Logan Gook for withstanding that, as he is down 13-1. And again, scoring, he's got a major decision locked up. 15-point decision would give a tech fall. That tech fall is worth 5 points, and of course the pinfall is 6. So, you know, it's one of those things where you talk about a win sometimes always doesn't end up with a W. It might be that you save your team 1 or 2 team points, and that's all that it takes when you hit tournament time. Logan's just kind of clinging on here, doing a really nice job, but he's going to have to know when to bail, otherwise he's going to get caught in a bad spot, and he did just that. He bailed to his belly, and now it's 15-1. So any back points now that doesn't turn into a tech fall, or doesn't turn into a pin, will turn into a tech fall. Got about 1 minute remaining, and again, you look for the good. Ethan Anderson's wrestling really well right now. He's chaining things together. He's doing things well, but Logan Gook is really battling, and there's something to say for a kid that battles as hard as Logan's battling right now. And Ethan's trying to throw in everything that he possibly can. I saw side cradles. I saw Butcher. We've seen multiple different arm bars and power halves, and Logan just keeps fighting right now, and we're down to 30 seconds, and they're going to go out and restart with 27 seconds remaining on the clock. So if he can withhold this 27 seconds and not get turned over, you're going to save 2 points for the Yellowjackets. And you kind of wonder if Ethan Anderson has any thought of cutting him, trying to take him down, but it looks to me like he's going to try to win it with near fall points. And And if there's no stall, I do not believe on Logan Gook yet. So you can kind of, like you said before, get heavy, lay there. And I think that's exactly what he's doing right now. But again, if you look at it the other way, Ethan is kind of riding a full parallel ride and not giving Mr. Gook much chance to get out. But credit victory to Ethan Anderson by major decision of 15-1. But credit to Logan Gook there for not giving up the tech fall or giving up the pin. That takes our team score on the United Community Bank Wrestling scoreboard to 24 for the Yellowjackets, 13 for the Badgers. Leads to the 160-pound, one of our seniors, Blake Lawrence, coming out. Blake has a record of 28-11. He's wrestling Strelo, Xavier Strelo, and if you kind of put 2 and 2 together, his dad is the head coach, and Gemini has obviously worked with Xavier. Xavier's 14-6, a senior, kind of coming back to wrestling after a year off. These two met in the Heart of the Lakes Championship just Saturday, so talk about that. We talked about seeing people multiple times. Blake got the better of him. I don't have the score right offhand. I was in the 23 to 10-ish range, if I remember right. It was by a major decision, and Blake did just what he did right there. He got to that low single shot, and he finished very, very well. And you'll watch Blake try to pull him back on here, I believe, get some balance and maybe kick him off. There we go. And nice job by Blake Lawrence with that 2. And Blake got into the cutting game, just what he's doing right now. He's beating me to the punch. I got to be a little quicker as an announcer. But did the same thing, played the takedown escape game, and always kind of went up and then down to that single ankle and just kind of picked away at Strelo. But Strelo's one strong kid, and there goes Blake again. Strelo with the reshot. Nice reshot by Strelo. And that might be new, something he's worked on since seeing Blake. Now he's in, but Blake does a great job of sprawling out, and Blake's actually in the position to score now. So a nice turnaround, and this is what's made Blake so good this year. His points where he may have given up some points in the years past, he's now the one becoming the aggressor, and that's just some upperclassman experience, I believe. And there's another 2 points with 18 seconds left on the clock, and I would expect that Blake holds him down here, and actually he's kind of got his arm trapped in an arm bar. Let's see if he tries to get some back points or if he's satisfied going into the period. And this is kind of a part of the lineup that the UCB Badgers are pretty upperclassmen dominated. You know, you go from Ethan Anderson at 52, Strelo's a senior at 60, Karsten Hamry is a senior at 70, and Zeke Noel's a junior at 82, and at 285 is Wyatt Dunham, who's a really nice looking 285-pounder. So this is kind of an area where UCB can be kind of dangerous, and I think they showed that against Sauk Center Melrose. Blake doing a nice job kind of taking control of this match right now. He's up 6-1. I'll be 6-2. I believe, maybe not. Maybe it's 6-1. Yep, 6-2. And so, again, Blake's kind of working his type of match where he's just kind of being really patient. When opportunity knocks, he takes it. And there it was. I think you get so many times where you're thinking, I'm going to shoot before Blake does because he's been successful. Blake makes you shoot from a long distance out and then takes it. Now he's into a tilt situation, getting some near fall points. So a nice job by Blake. Probably one of the most awkward looking positions in my book in wrestling, and one that always made me nervous because I always just was worried about my son's shoulders being parallel to the mat at all times. But nice job by Blake there, extending his lead to 11-2.
It's kind of interesting watching Blake Lawrence right now. He kind of, just the way he's dissecting his opponent and just picking him apart.
Yeah, it's just his manners. It's just confidence. And Blake spent a ton of time on the mat, and again, he's just that. You know, you talk about different ways kids can be leaders. You can be that rah, fiery leader, or you can be like Blake and just let your actions speak louder than your words. And that's what Blake does. He comes to work every day, and those kids feed off that, and they become better because he's in the room doing that. 7 seconds remaining on the clock, 11-2 lead, so major decision right now for Blake, and he's kind of worked that. He's done his magic, so, and then when you get down to the end, he holds Strelo down, and we're going both up, so look for Blake again on that kind of that low single on the ankle. He's had really good success with that tonight. Right back to it. And now just kind of muscling, trying to get that leg up in the air. Strelo doing a nice job of defending it right now, but there Blake kind of takes that ownership again. Like you said, you look at this calm, and Jason, you hit it on the head. He's just kind of like, okay, what are you going to do? And when you make a mistake, I'm gonna capitalize on that mistake. And right there it is, and there should be 2 more. And so nice job by Blake Lawrence, getting up 13-2. It'll be interesting to see if he cuts them again, or if he chooses to try to ride out, maybe try to go into that tilt situation. And he says both up, so he's going to give an escape to Strelo to make it 13-3. Nice job by Blake, kind of in and out there. This is one of those spots where you end up getting that takedown because you're behind with the shoulders, and then as soon as he puts his hand down, it give up that 2. So a 12-point lead here, and it looks like it's one of those kind of tricky situations because Strelo's not in a bad spot here. If he can pull his head out of there, he could get that reversal. And he's really leaning hard, but you kind of see that leverage that Blake's doing in there. He kind of gets himself into a better situation, into that tripod, and then spins behind. So nice job by Blake getting out of harm's way. He wasn't really in a good spot, but didn't allow Strelo to get himself in a better offensive position. Cradle try there for Blake. I think he's still trying to lock in that cradle, decides against that. Surfboards around, 10 seconds remaining on the clock. And another nice victory for Blake Lawrence, another one of our seniors on senior night. Runs his record to 29-11 with a major decision of 15-3. So nice job by Blake Lawrence against a really nice wrestler for the United Community Bank scoreboard, I was going to say. Runs to 28-13 and brings out Karsten Hammery, a senior, 9-8 on the season. Had a really nice tournament against Braylon Rock. Braylon, a sophomore, in on a single right away. Hammery was finished 4th in the Heart of Lakes tournament. Braylon finished 2nd, and takedown quick for Rock here. And we'll see what kind of action we have going here. Hamry's a really strong kid, physical. It was fun to watch him wrestle at the Heart of the Lakes conference here. So Braylon doing a little work on top here, and that's one of the areas that Braylon definitely wants to work on. But a nice escape for Hamry there, making it 2-1 with 1:20 on the clock. Nice shot there by Hamry. Braylon sprawls out and takes the 2. That's a nice spot where Braylon, his length is kind of tough on some of these kids. He's just so long-armed and long-legged that a really good shot by Hamry there ended up in Braylon's favor. And Braylon was playing a little bit of the Blake Lawrence game. So probably they worked together in the wrestling room, now doing some of the same things. 4-2 in favor of Rock with 45 seconds on the clock. Nice low shot there by Rock. Well, he has to spin around, swim. He does, but he gets caught on his hip. So now you have to readjust. As soon as he can turn his body around, he should get, but he's got his leg caught underneath. But if he can work that through, he might end up putting him into some near fall type spot. And there's the 2. And again, Hamry did a nice job because he could have easily got caught on his back right there. Braylon takes a 6-2 lead with 12 seconds remaining in the first period. And Jason gave Braylon the intro song of the night, I believe, and
without a doubt.
Without a doubt. So I got to remember to tell him that they got one thumbs up from from the crowd on the intro song, and it's kind of fun for the kids to have this atmosphere, Jason. It's fun to watch it all happen. Hamry takes down, nice mat return by Rock right off the bat. We'll see if he continues to ride or if he'll play that cutting game kind of in the same style that Blake Lawrence did. And Blake's been a good mentor to Braylon all the way through, that's for sure. Braylon's been known to throw a cradle in once in a while, so it'll be interesting to see if he can get that cross face and drive that leg through and get to that cradle position. Again, nice Iowa hooked up there. Hamry working on the bottom, trying to get to his base. Braylon kind of stretching him out. Nice chop and drive, but nice sit out there by Hamry. And Braylon doing a nice job of following. So a good match by both young men right now. Braylon stretches him out. Gets that power half locked in. Now let's see if he can run it. But Karsten Hamry's just so strong. I'm guessing he is probably good on the football field.
That Hamry name seems like it's been familiar around the mat the last few years as well.
It does. Hamry with out, so 6-3. Look to see what happens in this last 30 seconds. I'm sure both guys would like to get a shot. There's a quick move by Braylon Rock, and then that's where I've seen Braylon probably improve the most, is using his speed to his advantage and just kind of getting guys out of position. So 8-3 lead with 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Braylon kind of doing his thing right now. Would like to maybe see some back points happen here at some point, but working hard, and it's been a good part of the lineup for the Yellowjackets. Nice mat return for Braylon with 4 seconds to go, and that kind of takes a wind out of your sails once in a while. But the Blake Lawrence to Braylon to Brian Ramos to Hackle has been a nice kind of combination for the Yellowjackets, and a spot where they've really made separated some of these team scores as they get going. So Braylon takes down, which is got to explode out, which he does. He sits. Doesn't want to get tangled up in this position too much, but we'll see what happens. That kind of that body wrapped around. Nice job by Hamry catching Braylon, trying to sneak out of there, and now has those legs tied up, and that's not usually a good position to be in. He's going to have to maybe pick a side here pretty soon on Braylon, and he does sneak off to the side and allows Braylon to get to his base, which allows Braylon to power right back up. Hamry with the quick, but Braylon sits out of it. Could be a possibility for 2, and if he could keep that, he was so close to keeping that power half and turning Hamry over. Again, had the arm trap there. 10-3 is the score right now. So again, if you're a Yellow Jacket fan, you'd like to see that next point put on the board, so that way that you can get that major decision and continue to separate that gap, which it looks like we might anyways. We got a couple open weights for UCB, but you kind of like to take things under control and put it in your own hands.
Got to be quite unique. You mentioned some of these matches that we've seen earlier today, rematches from over the weekend, and now it's got to be unique having that quick of a turnaround.
You know, and I thought I saw some things out of Strelo that he learned from wrestling Lawrence, and I saw Blake learn some things. So again, wrestling good competition only makes you better, and I think I've seen that out of both Perham and out of UCB tonight, and a good job by both teams. Braylon in on a single again. We'll see if he picks it up. Okay. There's the 2, and that makes it 12-4 with 10 seconds. And if Braylon can ride out, he gets that major decision and a really nice win against a really formidable opponent. Again, we talk about that youth. Here's another sophomore that's making his way with a major decision at 12-4. So Braylon Rock with the win, running his record to now that gives him 16 wins on the year. And it'll be interesting to see. I am guessing this was a matchup in the finals of the HOL. I was wondering if I don't know who won the flip. That's where we talked about the flip, if they were going to bump Zeke Noel up to wrestle Hudson Hackle versus Brian. Brian kind of had his way with him at the tournament doing just this. Into that single, really strong body lock type position and the quick takedown. Zeke's a strong kid, great kid, had a great attitude wrestling. Brian right away just kind of on him, but Zeke's doing a nice job moving and really earns that escape. And 2-1 in favor of Ramos. And there's another takedown. And if you haven't watched Brian Ramos wrestle yet, he's kind of bottling up what he's shown us all year in the first 30 seconds of the match. Takedown, let him up. Takedown, let him up. It's not surprising to see Brian have 16, 18 points in the first period. Yes, you did hear me correct. 60, so, somewhere between 7 to 9 takedowns in a 2-minute stretch for Ramos. We have a blood timeout. This one we'll just stay here and kind of follow through it. My best guess, if you're looking to stick with us, is 195 and 220. It looks like UCB is going to be open. Now, that being said, that's only what we see on the scorecard. At 285, it is going to be a really good matchup. Wyatt Dunham is 13-5 on, probably 14-5 now on the year, and is a really, really super nice looking athlete, and going up against Reese Wilprick, or maybe the Yellowjackets will make some moves depending on what the score is. But still some really good matches to go here yet, and some really awesome exhibition here. So 32-13 on the United Community Bank scoreboard, as United Clay Becker is trailing the Yellowjackets 13-32 on your scoreboard. Ramos with another takedown. This time he decides to go into the cradle, and this might be the end for Zeke Noel, and it is. And Ramos goes against the grain and doesn't do the takedown and just says, hey, tonight we're gonna give the pin right away. So 6 more points for the Yellowjackets, and another victory, which leads me to believe Brian has 34 on the season, which is 34-1 at this time. Hudson Hackle gets the forfeit victory for the Yellowjackets, so the points are going to rack up a little bit here. And just like we thought, 195, 220, both open, which really changes the scoring fast. And all of a sudden, a duel that was pretty close, heading into 160, kind of gets blown open. But here's one to watch. And Reese Wilprick has really improved on his feet this year, and is another one of those seniors that have done great things for the Yellowjackets. But he's up against a really tough hombre tonight in Wyatt Dunham, and was super impressed. Dunham was your Heart of the Lakes Conference champion, and was really impressed at how he wrestled all the way through that tournament. In fact, I think he pinned to the finals, and really a super looking athlete, good on his feet, and Reese has to do a nice job of staying with him here, and I think he can.
And if I remember correctly, earlier tonight, he had a nice performance in UCB's victory over Sauk Center Melrose.
He did, and that was a really nice really good 285-pounder from Sauk Center Melrose as well. So Reese is good. I think Reese has to again, control his speed, and he's doing a good job of it here, kind of in that Russian tie, holding that arm down and not giving him angles to get to where he wants to go. So I think it's when if Reese gets off balance, Dunham's going to take a little advantage of that just because he's really got some really, really good feet for a 285-pounder. Again, as heavyweight matches go, it's kind of the way the first periods happen here. We'll just thank our sponsors again: EOT Insurance, KLN Family Brands, United Community Bank, Lakes Ace Hardware, Arvig, Perham High School, Central Minnesota Credit Union, Stein Seed in the Backyard for bringing you this live event here from the Hive. And we're certainly glad that you joined us. And it's turned out to be a really nice night for the Yellowjackets. Kind of a showing. Again, we'd like to have seen a few more matches. That's the way things go. But you can see the progress they're making and what this coaching staff, led by Coach Dave Vetch, is doing with these kids and just who they're becoming. So really nice night for the Yellowjackets. 1, to come out with a couple victories. 2, to honor your seniors. And 3, to have Mat Rat night and have all of the youth kind of be around and be a part of this and see these Yellowjackets and what it takes to step up to that next level. So really, I think it's a win-win for all involved tonight. One-point escape for Dunham. And again, it seems like most 285-pound matches we've been watching, Jason, it's escape in the second period, escape in the third, and then they get down to business with about 1:20 to go in the third period.
It seems to be, like you're right, it's just that methodical pace and then just let it all hang out in the final minute.
Yeah, I think it's just like you said, kind of that pacing, leaning on each other, trying to find if there's any kind of chink in the armor, so to speak, and then you try to attack it in the third period. And it's kind of the way these matches have gone for quite a while. But a nice job by Reese Wilprick, because I think Dunham's was real offensive at the HOL tournament, and Reese is doing a great job of just tying this up and keeping his weight on Dunham and not allowing Dunham to get to his legs the way Dunham would want to. And you saw Dunham try to take a shot there. Reese just became really heavy on the head and kind of stopped that. Not how the lower weights would stop by using your hands, but by using that brute force on top of the shoulders of Dunham.
Seems like Wilprick's close to just hitting his stride here as he gets ready towards the end of the year.
Right, and Reese is just such a great kid, too. We talk about all the seniors. Here's another senior that's just another quiet leader. You hardly ever see Reese without a smile on his face. I had the honor of coaching him in football, and just a super, super great kid. Team first type of guy, will do whatever it takes for the team to win, and he puts the team above himself, and that selflessness is going to take him a long way in life. So here we go, 1-0. Wilprick takes the down position. So again, trying to get to his base, get that one thing that Reese has been pretty good at is in his career is he's got that roll that he brings with him. So let's see if he can get an arm drug over the head and get to a roll. Dunham tries the little cradle attempt there. And that's where Reese has to be careful. He can't get off balance. We talked about off balance on your feet. You also can't get off balance when you're in the down position, because these guys are just so strong and so physical that as soon as you get off balance, it's a quick rollover, and then it's really tough to get out of there. And so right back to the cradle here for Wyatt Dunham. So a cradler at 285 is it's been a while, and he's got it locked in right now. So now it's just Reese trying to counterweight it, and he did. And Reese did a nice job of getting him to break that hold. But again, that's a moral victory, but Reese has to get out and get this escape to tie this up, or it's going to be 1-0, and we're reaching down to a minute left. The official kind of gives him a little warning. I don't know if you could hear that. I heard it, so you probably did. Keep working. Wanting Reese to get to his base, and you see those cross faces coming in, and definitely Dunham's looking for that cradle again, and now he switches off of that cradle and gets Reese's arm pin behind his back, and again, staying balanced, and Reese is going to have to make a move here as we reach down under 30 seconds to get out of the down position and get his 1 point, or unfortunately, it's going to be one of those hard luck 1-0 losses. Again, I could see a stalemate coming. It's hard because Dunham's really in the driver's seat, and he's trying in a position, so it's hard to break a position up here, but not much happening there, and it looks like Wyatt Dunham's going to be satisfied with a 1-0 victory over Reese Wilprick. And Wyatt Dunham takes the 1-0 victory, and that'll end the night for the Yellowjackets at 50-16. And we'll come back, we'll recap the night, we'll kind of talk about what's happened all the way through. We thank you for sticking with us and joining us along this whole triangular as the lights pop back on. We will step away for a few messages and a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back to recap this on Magnitude Sports.
There's no question that yield is at the core of everything we do at Stein. It's why we are here today, and it's what will continue to propel us and our growers into the future of agriculture. Stein and List E3 soybeans provide a significant dollar per acre yield benefit, plus access to the best weed control in the industry. That is yield plus results. Yield expected, yield delivered. Stein and List E3 soybeans have yield.
Perham Public Schools, School of Champions. Perham Public Schools, School of Champions.
KLN is home to great companies like Kenny's Candy and Tuppy's Pet Foods. Matt Nagel here. I was raised right here in Lakes Country. Our products are top notch. Working for a successful, locally owned family business means job security, pride, and a connection to our local communities. Join us at Kenny's Candy. Experience an awesome benefit program, competitive wages, a sign-on bonus, and profit sharing. Shop local, work local. Get started at klnfamilybrands.com or call 347-0525 and ask for Matt.
Hi, I'm Trevor Seaman with United Community Bank, and today we're down at the Gathering Grounds, joined with Ashley Clifton.
Hello.
Ashley, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
What's the best part for you about working with United Community Bank?
Besides just that they believed in me and kind of took a chance on me and helped me get it all together, I think what's more is that they really do support the community. They come in the store all the time. They don't just give us business, but they, encourage our business, buy gift cards in the winter when we're slower to give to other, locals and businesses. So it's just really inspirational for me.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
Hi, this is Mallory Stotterell
and Erica Saylor from Lakes Ace Hardware.
You can expect expert help for your next project at Lakes Ace Hardware,
right here in downtown Perham.
When everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life. At Central Minnesota Credit Union, we've streamlined our financial tools to ensure you have everything you need all under one roof. Whether you're starting a family, starting a business, or buying a home, CMCU is here to be a trusted financial partner. CMCU offers free checking options and a network of financial experts. Because when everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life.
They say a dollar doesn't go far these days, but in my classroom, it does. Especially when I can use it to buy technology to keep my students on the cutting edge of learning.
Arvig donates money to my school through a school partnership program.
$1 of your payment goes to area schools like mine for computers, tablets, smart technology.
It doesn't cost me anything extra to provide a better,
brighter,
more connected classroom.
Check out the Backyard in Perham. They have the largest selection of bird seed assorted suets and bird feeders in the area. Over 50 different varieties of pet food and pet treats, and an even bigger selection of pet toys, leashes, collars, and more. The Backyard is also your pet's destination for a spa day. The grooming salon is open Monday through Friday for grooms, nail trims, and baths. And book a stay for your pet at the Backyard Boarding and Play Care, a brand new facility made to make your pet feel at home. If your pet needs a comfortable place to stay, call Backyard Boarding and Play Care.
Well, welcome back here live at the Hive, and we'll wrap up tonight. Lance Rock here with my co-partner Jason, and he's magic with working the machinery and all of the technology stuff here, and I couldn't do it without him. But great night here for the Yellowjackets, senior night. I can't think of a better way if you're a senior to go out. 2 victories tonight, 57-24 over Sauk Center Melrose, and then 50-16 over the United Clay Becker Badgers, and two good 8 AA wins for the Yellowjackets tonight, Jason.
Oh, strong wins for the Yellowjackets. They come off a strong performance over the weekend at the Heart of the Lakes Conference Championships in Frazee. Then here tonight, chance to honor the seniors. As few as they are, they're still able to honor them here tonight with the victory over the UCB Badgers. And, they're going to be excited about that, to have that one last opportunity to wrestle in front of the hometown fans and on the home floor.
Right, and it's been a really a season of growth, and that's really a compliment to Coach Dave Vetch and his staff, is just how we've watched these kids get better every single time they're on the mat. And then you go to look at it and you talk about senior night and you talk about so few, 3 of them in the lineup tonight, Jason. So to say we're in a little bit of a youth movement is probably an understudy. We've got a good number of 10th graders, 7th and 8th graders mixed in there, a few juniors, and so the future's definitely looking bright for the Yellowjackets, and we got to see that all the way down to the Mat Rat level tonight as they came out with their mentor or their varsity athlete that they got to hang with. So let's recap the final scoring here, and then we'll talk about what our week's going to look like, Jason. And if you aren't sick of us by now, you might be by the end of the week, the way this is all going to play out. But again, at 106, Dresden Wagscheid, just so happy for that young man. He's been battling all season and giving up some weight. If it's hard for me to imagine giving up weight at 106 pounds, but he is. Started us out with a pin tonight. Followed up by Carson Zeise at 113 with a fall. Then Tegan Detloff. I don't know that I can say more about a young 7th grader than I can about Tegan Detloff tonight. First, he went into sudden victory and won 5-4 in the first match, then comes out and beats a junior, and a really good junior at that, in Taylor Johnson, with a 3-1 victory for the Yellowjackets at 120 pounds. At 126, Chandler Mickelson takes the forfeit victory. At 132, Nick Peters goes down by fall in a really interesting, maybe one of the more fun matches of the night, just because of the high velocity that both of those guys went with. Followed up Carson Beyer with a narrow 5-2 loss in a well-wrestled match. And then Caden Felt came out with a really good match for Caden this year, and was under control, tried to work his stuff, got back to some of those armbar things with a 3-1 victory. Logan Gook, again, you talk about unsung heroes. The score was pretty tightly contested then. Logan Gook was really taking on a really, really good wrestler from UCB in Ethan Anderson. And Logan Gook stayed out of harm's way, did not give up the tech fall, did not give up the pinfall, ended up losing by major decision at 15-1, but a really, really, really good match by Logan Gook. Blake Lawrence, one of our seniors that we were talking about honoring, with a 15-3 win against Strelo from UCB, another fine wrestler from UCB. Followed up by a nice win by Braylon Rock, a major decision, 12-4 over another senior for the Badgers in Karsten Homry. And then Brian Ramos with a quick fall in kind of an unlike fashion for Brian Ramos. Only 3 or 4 takedowns tonight, but nice job by Brian getting the fall. Hudson Hackle wins by forfeit. Jackson Vetch wins by forfeit at 2:20. And then Reese Wilprick in the final one of the night, and kind of a heartbreaker for one of our seniors, loses 0-1 to Wyatt Dunham. Wyatt Dunham is 15-5 on the year, a really nice looking athlete. And it was just one of those matches that Reese just couldn't get off the bottom, and a lot of credit goes to Wyatt Dunham in that case for what he did. So 2 team victories, runs the record to 9-12 for the Yellowjackets, battling their way back up to that 500 mark as we're heading closer and closer to playoff time already, if we dare say that, Jason. It's amazing. I think it just feels like the first night we were sitting here together going, man, boy, fall sure switched to winter in a hurry, and now we're talking about winter time, playoff and tournament time already. So lots of good things tonight. Did you have an update from over in the town next door? And I'll let you look that up real quickly. I thought you had a little update for us.
Last we heard, it was 26-17 at the half. The Yellowjackets leading the Hornets over there. We'll try to see if there's a newer update since then. Right now in that game, in the Heart of Lakes Conference battle going on over in Frazee. But right now, the Yellowjackets leading that one. Sydney Anderson did get her 1,000th point tonight. Trying to get a quick score update as I pop that screen up.
So you talk to, another senior getting honored tonight with another big milestone with Sydney Anderson. So congratulations to Sid and her entire family on a well-accomplished. And I'm sure if you talk to Sid, she's much more it'd be much more important for the team to win tonight than for her to get the 1,000th point. But you always take those milestones when you can get them.
One of the unfortunate things is the screen in Frazee. The scoreboard couldn't be any smaller, so I couldn't really give you an update on that one on the way I was looking through.
Well, maybe we can update our viewers on what our schedule is going to look like coming up here.
And Davey Ken's coming into what should be a fun week on Thursday night. We'll be back here at the Hive, boys basketball action. The Perham Yellowjackets looking to bounce back after a tough loss to St. Peter, taking on the Barnesville Trojans, who defeated the Yellowjackets earlier in the year in Barnesville in an overtime thriller where the Yellowjackets just couldn't buy a bucket from the outside when Barnesville switched up their defensive looks. And it'll be interesting to see how the Yellowjackets respond here at home.
Oh, it's going to be I am just amazed, Jason. Every week it seems like we talk about one more team that's vying for the Section 8 AA crown. And then I'm reading the paper today, and I see that DGF and East Grand Forks went into double overtime last night with DGF pulling off the victory, and now DGF plays at Pelican tonight, so I'm curious to go home to see. So East Grand Forks has to be right in the mix as well, as they took on a tough DGF team, and I believe Mr. Owen Leach ended up with 43.
I believe that was
last
43
night.
or 46. So
yeah, maybe 46. I could be selling him short, which I don't want to do that. But so Barnesville is looking really good. DGF, Perham, Fergus. You just keep going. Pelican, you go right down that list. So each night, I don't think we're going to see a bad game coming up here, Jason, for a long, long time.
And then on Friday in girls basketball action, we got an update, too, just on the road. The Yellowjackets lead 50-33 with just under 6 minutes to go. They're going to close out another victory there over the Hornets. Always fun for the Yellowjackets to get a win over their neighbors. And now, assuming they don't blow a 17-point lead in the final 7 minutes with that talented squad that they have.
That was me knocking on wood.
I've been wrong all week long, so, and I know it's just Tuesday. But then Friday night, we have a good one. It's going to be the Yellowjackets taking on another rival down the road, and it'll be taking on the Wadena Deer Creek Wolverines. As we talked about earlier, it brings Jordan Cressup, the former Perham state champion basketball player for the Yellowjackets. His dad's also the boys' head coach, so it'll be nice for him to come back again. Once again, he's coached here several times now as the younger Cressup, I should say, has now taken over the reins for the Wolverine girls the last few years and has really got that program on the upswing.
Right, and you always hear about now with the Vikings in the coaching search. Well, they came from this coaching tree. Well, it doesn't take very long to find out what coaching tree Jordan came from. And so it's always a fun night. Hopefully our coach Cressup can be there to watch his son, and that's kind of a unique dynamic in a way as well, as to have your dad, who was your coach and who is a lifelong coach here in Perham, now watching you make all the calls. And so lots of things happening here, but a really good week coming up here in Yellow Jacket athletics, and we're just so happy that we're able to sit alongside you, bring you what little knowledge we have, we try to share with you and with what's upcoming. But a great night again for the Yellowjackets. Again, we'd like to thank EOT Insurance, KLN Family Brands, United Community Bank, Lakes Ace Hardware, Arvig, Perham High School, Central Minnesota Credit Union, Stein Seed, and the Backyard for bringing you this wrestling presentation tonight.
Proceeding has been a presentation of the